need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. If it's meant for you, God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Press on with pride and press on with purpose and appreciate what God has brought you through.
What am I supposed to be doing that, as you said so eloquently, that I love to do? I love to encourage people. I love, as Derek said, I can call out the very genius of someone else. Mm-hmm. And tell them. One lady came on our show, shout out to Ella May's Creation. Yeah. She was a listener, and she was like, well, you know, I do pyrography. And I was like, what? What is that? So she explained it. And then she sent Lloyd this cutting board of the New York Giants on a cutting board that she made with her pyrography. And I said, you made that? And she's like, yeah. I was like, why aren't you doing anything with that? She said, because I don't think I'm good enough. And I was like, are you kidding me? Let's go. You know, so I had her come on, you know, we was, you know, featuring it on the show. She started a Facebook business page, you know, and then she starts, you know, I'm like an archer. I put people in position to shoot out in whatever direction they need to go in, because I can see the gift and I can see the genius and say, let's go. But for myself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think Lloyd and Derek were saying as well, is that we're like, okay, but for myself, you're like, okay, now I don't know why they're saying it, because these guys, the genius in them, we don't have enough time on the podcast to talk about the genius in Derek and Lloyd and Unc and Al and LeBaron. Yeah. The genius in all of them. But, you know, like I said, I was at the school feeling like, man,
But let me interrupt you right there. And this is the part where I'm going to try to, we're probably going to all be crying at the end of this thing. Since Unc and Gay have already done, I might as well join the thing. The best part of us launching into this, because we launched the company right after we read the book. We relaunched the company. I'll say it that way. Because we had kind of put the brakes on it, and then we said, no, this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is our zone of genius. What I did not realize, Gay, and what the book helped me realize is to finally truly understand the totality of the genius of my wife. She is brilliant.
Yeah.
And I've known that, but I didn't know her lane. I wasn't sure because she would talk about this and she talk about that, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. And then after reading the book and going through the understanding together, it got me to the place like, this is what she's supposed to be doing. And so when she talked about she's shooting the arrow, she's right. She's brilliant. She was the one that said, we got to get him on the show. And I'm like, well, I mean, we're just getting going. I don't know that we got to get him on the show. It's got to happen. I got to make it happen. And she was determined to make it happen. And so for me, the company's worth it just to see her walk into her destiny like this.
That's such a beautiful thing. I appreciate that so much, and I appreciate you, Kenyatta, and I so much want you to fully live into that genius and celebrate it and have it right there in your heart and soul 28 hours a day.
Gay, you got me on here crying. Thanks, Gay. But
I feel the same sense of indebtedness to my wife, Katie, too. I count the day I met her 41 years ago as a day that my genius went like this, because to have two people in a relationship, both of us wanting to support the other person's genius and wanting to have ours be done, it's the best feeling in the world.
Popcorn World. Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of a can. I can make it round the world and it holds in your hand. Popcorn world. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn world. Popcorn world. Popcorn world. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn world.
Hey everybody, football might be over for this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. It's your man Lloyd Spence, and listen, from all the latest odds, totals, player performance, props, to where the next coach is going to land or be fired, BetOnline is the number one spot for all your sports betting needs. So head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to get started. And it's not just basketball. I mean, BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and the UFC odds. It is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your number one online wagering destination. So head over to betonline.ag. It's the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. It's BetOnline, where the game starts. Tell them the Noisemaker sent you.
What's that saying? Breaking down the rumor and smelling out. Speaking for the people who must go around. Taking truth to power with a whisper and a shout. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Hey, yeah. Say it again, say we're talking noise. Yeah, talking noise. Really don't have to fool around. Never noise keeps you signed up. No truth divine. The sign that you is a sign of success. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Yeah, picking up all the same. We're talking noise. Oh yeah. Talking noise. Share it again. We're talking noise.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
We're talking noise. Talking noise. We're talking noise.
2.
Not getting hustled, not getting hustled. Keeping your head above water.
She gonna tell you how to get some tax money.
Good time.
Fix your bad credit.
Good time.
Help you get your life together.
Good time. Hey, we lucky we got 'em.
But you can bring your
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
And that's true, but it's also Women Wednesday. And we have a beautiful, wonderful lady here with us who's going to help you get your life together.
woo.
And your stuff ain't right, and she going to help you fix your life for real. Not like that fake other stuff that you be hearing about fixing life. This is real fixed life stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our Soror Tiffany Murphy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
What's
Thank
going
you.
on, Soror? How you doing?
Doing good. Just dealing with the craziness of tax season. but
I
I'm
was going to
doing
say,
okay.
this is your Super Bowl right now. You are in the thick of
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
Well, we
Absolutely.
appreciate you pitching out some time for us today.
No problem. No problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Our pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the lady who is not just, she's like, people do taxes, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is, like, every time I say her name, I want to do this and sit in Indian style and go, this is the tax master. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like when you read her bio and stuff and you read all, you be like, so you just fix everything, like your business, your credit, your taxes, like you do hair and babysit sometimes. You got people, you do all of it.
The Dalai Lama of taxes.
The Dalai Lama of taxes.
I mean, listen.
I love it. I love it. What got you in this game? What got you in the tax game?
You know, actually, I was a former special ed teacher. And
Stop. Stop. Wait a
and a
minute.
problem Zeta Phi Beta sorority, of course.
We coming in hot already. You were a special ed teacher?
I was a special ed teacher. I taught school for about 14 years. Yeah.
I gotta hear this story. How in the world did you go from special ed to being the Dalai Lama of taxes?
I mean,
Well, my undergrad is actually in business management. And so, you know, I've always had a passion for business. And I just got tired of working for people, you know, and I just wanted to not have a glass ceiling. And I didn't want anybody to tell me how successful I could become based on the
say that again for the people in the back. I didn't hear you. You got
Right.
tired of what now? Say that again for the people in the back.
I got tired of other people telling me what my glass ceiling was. I wanted to break through that glass ceiling and determine my own success.
Come on, preacher.
Based on a salary schedule, a teaching salary schedule. So yeah.
I like it. So then you went over and said, let me try this tax thing out. Taxes. Because business is a vast area. So why'd you settle on taxes?
Well, I've always been good at numbers. I was a middle school math teacher. I've known how to do taxes for years, but I just decided to take that leap of faith and step away from the classroom. And, you know, initially I was teaching and doing taxes. And then a few years ago, I just said, you know what, let me just step away completely and focus on it full time. And let me see how far this thing can really go. And it's been a good decision so far. I can't regret it.
Go ahead, Mama Noise.
so you left special ed.
Mm-hmm.
Was there an event or what was it that said, now's the time for me to leave this?
You know what? Honestly, as a special ed teacher, it became to a point to where it was no longer fun. it was more paperwork than teaching. And so when I got into teaching, I got into it for the children. And once I found myself hating to pull up in the parking lot because of the meetings,
Come on, you preaching today.
meetings, the kids were the great part of the day, but all of the meetings and the paperwork and the notebooks and the data collection, I was just like, you know what, for this money, I am not about to deal with all this stress. I'm out. So
People don't know, do they, Tiffany? They don't know the stress and the frustration, and you just be like, oh, because I'm a 25-year ex-teacher myself, so I understand. And I used to, and like, you love the kids. You be like, oh man. Then all the other stuff, you be like,
right.
You be like, I love them, but I don't know if it's enough for me to keep on dealing with what I need. And then when I was in special ed, I was like, it was like, I'd get up in the morning and say, Lord,
like a self-help group today.
I'm gonna need you to help me.
It's a lot.
It's tough, man. It's tough. So now, looking at your website, it reads like a church website. Like, we are here to help you, to bring you out. I was like, I feel inspired. Like, why are you so passionate about cleaning up folks' credit?
Well, because I've been there. I didn't always have good credit. I had bad credit. I didn't know about, credit cards. And I was that same person that other people are now, and I've just seen over the years how having good credit can help you. And I've always lived by the motto, when you know better, you do better. And so if there's nobody to teach people how to do better, then, so I want to be that person to actually help them to do better and just, really help improve people's credit. Mm-hmm.
What is the first thing that people need to do?
Call me. No, but other than that,
I mean,
flex on them.
I mean, because you know as well as I know is that when you're in college, they met you at the student center and was like, your parents ain't sending you enough money. No worries. All you got to do is sign up for this credit card, and we got you. They ain't verifying nothing. They just
yes.
The noisemaker said, "What's your number?"
I just put it up, Ron. You should be.
You can get me through the tax business. That's fine. My credit repair is thescoredoctor.com. But yes,
you got websites on websites, y'all. Got you.
So with the first thing that I would definitely say, one of the major misconceptions that people have is that you don't have to have a credit card to have good credit. And one of the major misconceptions is that credit cards are bad. That's not true. People do bad things with the credit cards. The credit cards are actually beneficial to you. You just have to know how to use them. And don't believe the credit karma hype about keep your balance at 30%. No, you want to keep it even lower than that. Like between 3 to 5% if you want to have a maximized credit score. So I would definitely say the main thing is if you have a credit card, keep that balance low. You will see an instant boost in your credit score.
Wow. Cheat code already. Okay.
I mean,
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a language that you keep using on your site that you keep saying we have it wasn't aggressive. It was another word you used. It wasn't even unique. It was something about how you fix the credit, and we use a determined or very intentional it came across like you were really like we gonna stay in these people's faces for your credit score.
Right.
Why is that so important?
Well, a lot of times people will start disputing things or trying to fight their credit, and then they'll stop. Maybe this month they did something, but then they forget about it a couple months and you're not on top of things. So what I do is I have a systemized method of it's not all about disputing. That's one of the other misconceptions. People believe if I take everything negative off of my credit, I will magically have a good credit score. But that's not true.
Oh.
Not at all. Not at all.
I thought that's how it worked. If you take it off, you get this better score.
No. It's so many misconceptions. We could do a whole podcast on misconceptions of credit.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
But no, it's really about staying not only in the creditor's face, but also in the client's face in terms of building the positive accounts, as well as at the same time as disputing the accounts that will greatly impact your credit. Everything doesn't need to be disputed. So all of these companies that you hear about, let's do a credit sweep. No, that's not the way you operate with that. Certain accounts affect your credit more than others. So that's why you have to kind of be on top of the credit laws and know which accounts have the biggest impact and what's going to really bring that score up. So that's kind of what I do.
Somebody threw out payment history. Is that how important is payment, the overall payment history?
So with payment history, so basically the lowest credit score you can have is a 300. The highest credit score you can have is an 850. So that's a 550 point window. So credit history actually makes up 35% of your score. So 192.5 of those points are based on how well and how often you pay your bills and being able to pay your bills on time. So a 30-day late can drop your score 50 points or more. A 60-day late could drop your score 100 points. So yeah, payment history is the number one thing that attributes to your credit score. But it's not the only thing, but it is the most.
Why is it so hard to get it back up, but so easy to get it down?
It is. It is. That's a question for Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion.
Wow.
I got nothing. Just stump me. I got nothing. Somebody asked about hospital bills on your credit score.
Hospital bills can report as a collection. It really just depends on. What I find is a lot of people don't even know what's on their credit. A lot of people, every time I get a new client and I ask them, do you know your credit score? Do you know what's on there? They'll say, I think I just have a couple of hospital bills. Hospital bills, if they're reporting as a collection, then that can negatively impact your score. Because when something gets to a collection status, that means that it has exceeded the 30-day late, the 60-day late, the 90-day late. They just have never gotten their money and they're reporting it as a collection or a charge off. So what you would want to do in that case is to see if it is an account that can be disputed. And then once you actually remove that, your score will go up. But a lot of people have that misconception that I have a hospital bill or I have some other bill that's $20. I'll just pay it off. But that's not going to boost their score at all. It's going to stay the same. So
paying something off doesn't help you at all.
Paying a collection is one of the worst things you can do.
What?
Wow.
Paying it in full or paying it in just period?
So with that, with the collection, a lot of people think if I pay the collection, they're going to remove it. Nope. What they're going to do is it's going to say collection paid, balance 0. But the collection is going to still stay. It's just going to report that you now have a 0 balance. In order to remove that, what I recommend for my clients is you want to remove the collection first. Just because it's removed does not mean you don't still owe them the money. So let me make that clear. So you want to remove and then, if needed, pay the collection. But you never want to pay that collection first, because if you pay the collection first, they're not going to remove it. They're going to say, well, why am I going to remove this from your credit report? You paid it, so clearly you owe us. So I'm not going to take it off.
You're blowing folks' mind right now.
I mean, I'm just like.
Let me put that number up because there's 20 people that were like, what?
I'm having trouble getting the website too.
The score doctor is not coming up.
Well, is it based out of Florida?
Hold on. Let me.
The logo is a little fox.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's
okay.
me.
Is it based out of Florida?
It has a Florida address. It's actually going to be.
Okay, I got you then. Okay.
Yeah, I'm changing it to I just moved my office to the Richmond Hill area. So that phone number and everything is going to be changed. So the 478 number is the way to reach me through the Taxmaster Plus. But the website is definitely accurate. Just the phone number and address is going to be changing on there.
My mind is blown. All this time we've always been taught you need to go and pay stuff off to get the collections off, and then they be like, show appreciate it, but we gonna leave this right here.
Right. Is that similar to when you hear these credit repair places talking about pay to delete or
pay for deletion? So when somebody says that, that's usually talking about how they charge clients. Some companies charge a monthly fee. Some companies charge a pay for delete, meaning they're not going to charge you until they delete that item off of the credit report. So that's what that is, a pay for deletion.
Typically, how long does it take to get something deleted off?
It depends on what it is, and it depends on how it's reporting. Sometimes I have clients, the first 45 days, we might get 15 deletions. We might get 10 deletions. Typically, my clients are with me 4 to 6 months on average to get their credit where we want it to be. But I have had cases, and I always tell my mom, she's like my best testimony. I took her from like a 5 to a 7 in like 2.5 months. So she was like, and people are probably like, well, that's because it's your mom, but it did just happen to work out that way. But it can be that way. Of course, nobody knows because it really just depends on the response of the credit bureaus. Sometimes they'll write back and say no, but then we have to go and fight it again and say, oh, no, this is why this should be removed. And then you go into the next round number 2. It might take a round number 3. So it just really depends on the response of the bureaus.
Okay, now I got to ask you some tax credit questions because this is important.
Okay.
There are a lot of tax things that have changed as a result of the pandemic that a lot of us are not aware of. What are some of those things that are some folks about as they're about to go get their taxes done, they're about to get a rude awakening?
Well, as a result of the new tax change, I would say one of them is for those people who are self-employed or independent contractors. Due to the pandemic, the IRS came out with it's called a credit for the COVID sick leave. Basically, if you had COVID or you took care of somebody with COVID, you can count those days as days missed from work. You can actually receive extra payment on your tax refund if you meet that criteria. So like if you had to quarantine, if you had to take care of your child had to go to school virtually online because the school was closed, or if someone in your child's class got COVID, or if the daycare was closed because somebody had COVID or they had to shut it down. At one point, everybody was going to school online.
Right.
If that happened to you during 2021, then that can be additional, depending on your income, it can be an additional several $1,000s.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I had not. Now that's one I had not heard. Okay, I was thinking of some other ones. That's new information.
That's a whole lot to. I'm trying to take in the whole what you just said. I'm thinking of one of my daughter's classmates was out with COVID. Check. Did they have to do virtual learning? Check. Are those tax write-offs or what are they?
It's called a Form 7202, and you can look it up, but it's only for people who are self-employed, not for W-2s. It's only for self-employed or 1099 workers, because it's basically the reason they gave that credit is you were self-employed, but because of these circumstances, you had to take that time away from your job. So we're going to give you this money so that you can get that credit onto your tax return. So I've had some clients who, before I applied that credit, maybe they were getting a $7,000 refund, and after that, it bumped them up to $15,000. So it just really kind of depends on the number of days is what maximizes that. So, like if somebody says, you know, my child had to stay home with me for 60 days, that's going to be more credit.
Form 7202.
7202, COVID sick leave.
Wow. Another question I'm sure everybody has a question about. I'm sure you got 1,000 times by now. What's the impact of the stimulus payment on your tax return?
So the impact of the stimulus payment is not an impact in terms of affecting something in terms of your refund. But what it is impacting is if you don't report it correctly. And I have stressed this to my clients and my followers on Facebook so many times. The IRS sent out a form 6475 that basically tells, letter 6475, that tells how much they paid you in stimulus payments. So when you file your taxes, you have, there you go, boom. That's right. So when you file your taxes, you have to put that amount on the tax return. So if you put an incorrect amount, it can delay your tax refund, and it can be delayed for, you know, don't be surprised if it's summertime. So
they so backed up.
So I'll ask you a question pertaining to this 6475, because I was going to ask my tax preparer. It says in the second paragraph, this economic impact payment isn't considered taxable income.
That's right.
Why do we have to report that on our?
Good question. The reason you want to report it is some people did not get their stimulus. That's so right. If you didn't get it, then we would have to enter that on the tax return. So if that letter, let's just say, for example, it's you and you have 2 children, right? So you should have received the $1,400 for you plus $1,400 for each of your children. So you should have received $4,200. But that letter you received says that you received $2,800 instead. So when we go and prepare that tax return, we're putting the information from the letter so that you can get that additional $1,400 back.
Gotcha. I heard something else too. Now, as a small business owner, I've heard this. You can help me with this. I'm hearing this nasty rumor that money's received over a certain amount on. Now, I don't think this is going to affect this year, but maybe going forward. But money's received on a certain amount on PayPal and Cash App and stuff like that. That's about to be a thing. Is that a rumor or is that true?
That is a fact. If you have a business account on Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, any of those, and you receive more than $600 total, you will get a 1099 or a 1099K probably.
Now, is that $600 from one person or in totality of all of your stuff?
In totality.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah.
Close your ears, Sister Murphy. Close your ears. I don't want you be privy to no illegal stuff. If you see, now this is what I was told. If you send your Cash App, PayPal payments, and in the memo section, do not put pay for services. If you disguise that in other verbiage, you can find your way around that taxable situation.
Uh-oh.
Well, here's the thing. When
let me give you the full screen because you need this.
Well, here's the thing. When PayPal sends you out or Cash App sends you that, do you really think they're going to go back and read those notes that you put in there?
No, they're not.
Not at all.
I'd love to say
not
that.
At all.
And the only reason it was brought to mind because I had to Cash App someone recently, and they specifically told me, no, put such and such. Don't put such and such.
Yeah, put birthday gift.
Right. Love all.
Now, this is a new thing for everybody this tax season, or the next tax season is when that's going to go into effect. Right. It's going to be real interesting to see, but no, I highly doubt that that's going to fly.
Y'all
Y'all
mean
hear that, Charlie? It ain't gonna fly.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how it all unfolds. To be clear, but I know a lot of my business owner friends are all going, "What? Wait a minute."
You're gonna go back to dark alley transactions behind dumpsters.
Right.
No, I don't think we answered the question, but I'm thinking of the tax. I mean, not the tax, the credit cleanup places that just say
Lie. I'm sorry.
$30 a month, and you like, oh, just $30 a month gets you to do what? To monitor what is it? TransUnion, what the different credit reporting agencies.
Yeah.
So I pay you $30 a month for you to do that, and that's going to do what? I mean,
yeah, the only kind of monitoring I know, because all of our clients have to get in the credit monitoring program, meaning that they have to sign up for our preferred provider to be able to access their credit reports every month. But now I'm not familiar with someone charging $30 to monitor something that could be one of those. Listen, it's different types of credit repair companies out here. You have those that are gonna say they're gonna sweep your credit. You have those who will tell you what you want to hear, and the goal for them really is to keep paying them for 12 months. I've had clients come to me that paid, I won't say this other company, but it's a very popular one, that paid them for 2 years.
Oh, Jesus.
2 years? I'm like, how much were you paying? I was paying $159 a month for 2 years, and you didn't get an increase in your credit score.
$159 a month, you could have paid off some stuff.
Right.
I mean,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. Here's another question coming from the chat. So how does this affect those of us who send or receive Zelle or Cash App to nieces and nephews, friends on a regular basis, etc., or for reimbursement?
From my understanding, it's only if it's sent to a business account. From my understanding, now don't hold me to this, is not when it deals with a personal account, you're not going to receive that from what I've read. But you
already know some of us are going to be like, well, my accountant, Miss Murphy said.
But if it's a personal, like I have three different Cash App accounts, so you can have multiple. You can have a personal Cash App, you can have a business Cash App. So,
well, I don't know. I might have to abandon that business. Anything.
I mean, listen.
Focus on the other stuff. There's a question: is there a way to pass the phasing out of deductions because of income?
Don't really understand that question. Can you?
Is there a way to pass the phasing out of deductions? Yeah, elaborate, cuz, or just hit the link. Then just do that. He's supposed to be here. I don't know. But he'll probably hit that. Is there a way to get past? Oh, pass. He probably means pass as in PAST. Pass the phasing out of deductions because of incomes. Does that make better sense or no?
Just pull up, you
old guy. Like, yeah. You do it right now.
Yeah, all your names in front of the company. Now just pull up.
You're doing them. Question for you, Tiffany. Mm-hmm. How has managing the taxes for your clients been affected by COVID? Like, how hard is it? Is it harder these last couple of years trying to navigate all of the COVID aspects of tax season?
You know what? To be perfectly honest with you, last season and this season have been my best seasons ever because of COVID. I know it may sound crazy.
Really?
So our office is 100% virtual. We don't keep any folders. We don't keep any file cabinets. I have clients all over the United States. And they can send everything in electronically through our client portal. So it honestly makes it easier. And a lot of people like that, especially last year because of COVID. Yeah. It's like, well, you don't have to come into the office. You don't have to be around me. We don't have to be around each other. You can feel safe. So
wow.
But last year I'm getting my years confused, but I believe it was last year. Man, the IRS had everything backed up for like 6 to 8 months because they weren't in office.
Yeah, and they have a lot of workers working from home. But believe it or not, when we started this tax season, the IRS was 8 million tax returns behind. This season, I don't know what they've done, but when I say my clients are getting paid so fast, I don't know what's going on. But like, like some are like 4 days, 7 days, 6 days. And, for them to have been that far behind, I was actually surprised.
now, we mentioned earlier that Tiffany is a guru and that she doesn't just do one or two things. She does a lot of things. So in addition to this, she's out here in these streets doing bookkeeping and getting you up on speed with QuickBooks and stuff like that, or for your small business or whatever. And she's also been doing business consulting. So you can help with marketing plans or social media coaching, all those type of things. Talk a little bit about that and how beneficial that is to the peoples.
Well, yeah, bookkeeping. One of the things I found with small business owners is you guys just don't have those books together. It's one of the most frustrating things as a tax preparer when someone comes to file their taxes and we're asking for income and expenses, and they're just like, I don't know what I made. So how do you know if you're profitable? If you're not keeping up with what you're bringing in and what you're taking out. I've had so many clients to say, I know I made 100,000. How do you know? Did you really keep up with that? So one of the most important things business owners need to do is be able to keep up with all of the income and the expenses. There should not be a point within your business that you can't say, okay, I know in January I made a profit of $4,000, but I noticed in June my profits go down to about 2,000. So let me increase my marketing budget so I can increase my income in these down months. Like you should be able to have those types of discussions when it comes to the bookkeeping. Let's not even mention the truck drivers because they don't ever have their stuff together.
Oh, we picking on truck drivers today.
The big truck tax queen, that's my clientele, and they never have their.
Never have theirs together. Wow. All right, here is our beloved Cuz Noise, aka the old man, aka lovely. I said beloved Cuz Noise.
Lovely.
The pride of Jackson, Mississippi is here.
Lovely. And now you can ask as wrong as beloved. So
now you can ask his question that he had on the.
Sorry about that. I was doing 2 or 3 things at one time and wasn't doing anything great. The more money you make, the more deductions phase out. You can't claim certain deductions. Is that correct?
It depends. You can claim anything as if it relates to your business. It's not like a cutoff. Like you just have to learn to do more of a tax planning type of scenario when you start to make more money. So that might mean investing more into retirement accounts or different things like that to kind of help offset that. But if it's a valid expense, then no. Now, what will happen though, if you start to write off so much stuff to where you're having a loss for 3 consecutive years, the IRS will no longer view your business as a business, but they'll view it as a hobby.
Right.
Wow. Okay, let me clear up something for everybody else, and you can answer this however you see fit, Tiffany. Mm-hmm. Why should they call you and stop letting Ray and Pookie do their taxes? Why should they become professional? Because that's what we do. We go to Reggie because he got an A in algebra, and so we let him do our taxes. So why should we not do that anymore?
Well, because for one, it's a difference in somebody that does taxes and going to a knowledgeable tax preparer. I'm definitely someone who believes in continuing education. I'm an annual filing season participant, meaning that I've met certain criteria with the IRS. Next year, I will be an enrolled agent, which is the step right below the CPA status.
Wow.
So definitely the continuing education. A lot of people don't stay up to date. Every year with taxes, things change so much. And in order to really maximize a client's tax return, you got to really know what you're talking about. So like I've had clients who, you know, a lot of them don't know about the look back credit. That was something that I forgot to mention when I was talking about the 7202. A lot of people don't know about the look back credit that maximum.
Look back at it. I thought you look back at it.
Yeah, that's different. That's a different thing. You don't get that's a different thing. Well, y'all be good.
Yeah.
So that staying up to date, staying on top of the new changes, all of those type of things is the number one reason.
Right. And I go above and beyond. Like if a client comes to me and they say, I had a daycare, I've done this a couple of times this past week. My child was in daycare, but the daycare owner has not given us the daycare form. Well, this year, 50% of what you paid in daycare expenses is refundable. So you want that. If you paid $7,000 in daycare, that's $3,500. So I'm that tax preparer that will get on the phone for you and call the daycare.
That's new. Is that new? Just
That's
this
new.
year?
This year.
So it sounds like that being up to date with the codes and is the key. I have a question for people that, you know, simple returns. Just all you got is a W-2. Is the fast tax and JR Square, are those good for just simple returns? You know, I'm purposely trying not to mention names. You know who fast tax is and JR Square.
Well, I'm going to always say you need to seek a professional, because even if it is a simple W-2, there are still things that you could benefit from that you may not even know about. Just because you are single doesn't mean that, and it's a quote unquote easy return. You still want to seek a professional, because there are some things for singles as well.
How often have you looked at past? I mean, I got you covered. How often have you looked at past stuff and saw people leaving money on the table?
All the time. And see, one thing about my office, and a lot of people probably are like, what? I don't amend people's tax returns if they didn't file with me the first time. I never do.
Ooh, okay, flex.
You know, and I've had that, you know, hey, you know, I went somewhere and they messed me up, and can you go back and amend my 16, 17, 18? No, I don't. But what we can do is we can get you straight going forward. That's just my personal thing, because it's a ton of work in doing amended tax returns.
Yes, it is.
You got to redo it the wrong way, tell what's wrong with it,
right,
and correct it. So now, if you are my client and I have to amend it, I do that. I don't charge anything extra for that if you're my client. But I've had those cases where people have gone and they've messed up. Something was messed up, and then they want me to look at it or fix it. And I'm just like,
nah, I'm good. Thank you.
I have too many clients. I don't have time to go back over that, because you should have came to me the first time.
There you go. Cuz you had a question?
So you're saying definitely we cannot be great out here in these streets with TurboTax and QuickBooks by ourselves.
We wasn't calling names, was we?
Hey, listen, I'm not scared.
We don't have no money to pay them. We Tasha K out here. We ain't got no money to be paying.
Cannot be great with them.
Yeah, listen, you will be surprised at how many times people call my office and they say, wow, when I did TurboTax, I was only getting this amount. What? You got me? What? You know, man, I should have came. So I've had those conversations. And another thing too, a lot of times people put in wrong information on TurboTax all the time. And I made a post about this the other day. Just because TurboTax gave you a different number than your tax preparer does not mean it's right. So when you don't really know how to apply certain deductions, and people are just like I was telling you guys about the 7202. People are actually putting that on W-2 wages. That's the first way to get yourself audited, because that is not for W-2 workers.
Oh, wow.
But they're doing that, and I've seen the posts in different tax groups. Wow, I did my own taxes and I got myself $20,000 back, and then they have a W-2.
Bad boys. What you gonna do?
Right.
What you gonna do when they come for you?
Yeah.
So basically,
quick question. I'm sorry. This country does not reward, if you will, in your opinion, W-2 workers. You need a business, a 1090. You need to have that type of structure in order to maximize on taxes. Is that correct?
Well, in a way, but not necessarily. So, you know, I have clients who make high six figures that get tax refunds of $2,000-$3,000. It's really just about knowing how to complete that W-4 form correctly and pay the right amount of tax throughout the year.
Right.
But in terms of tax benefits, I was just having this client with a conversation with one of my clients. She makes about $260 a year, and she's W-2. Straight W-2. And she's like, man, I pay so much in taxes. What can I do? And so, you know, we talked about some things she can do in terms of increasing her retirement withholdings. It's really pretty much, a lot of people have that misconception that if I have a business, then I won't have to pay as much. So let's just say you have $100,000 W-2 and then you have a business. Well, the only way that that business is going to help you is if that business has a loss. So if that business was started and you had a $30,000 loss, instead of the IRS taxing you on $100,000, now they're going to be taxing you on $70,000. That's the only way a business helps you in that regard.
That would explain why several of my farmer friends have write-offs every year, major write-offs every year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, to me, it just sounds like if you out here in these streets trying to do your own taxes, you probably be headed toward a lot of trouble. Like you just either you're gonna come up short on the money you could have got, or you're gonna end up owing way more than you should owe.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are so cheap. They're like, I'd rather just do it myself. It's only one time a year. Just pay the tax preparer, get it done right. Get it done right the first time. So you don't have to worry about that.
Quick, another question coming in is using QuickBooks or Quicken Good software to use for small business.
Yeah, but he's saying for small businesses.
Small business is what he asked though.
Yeah, for keeping up with your bookkeeping, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I would encourage you, if you don't want to pay a bookkeeper and you're going to do it yourself, I would definitely encourage you to go through like book certification courses to learn how to really use QuickBooks the right way. But yeah, absolutely.
Because now everybody say they're a rapper is a rapper.
Right.
So you're out here trying to use QuickBooks and you think it's just punching in numbers. It's probably a lot more than that.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Wow.
All right. Tiffany, we could keep you here all day, you know that.
I mean, because you can go from from credit repair to taxes, and because if I understand correctly, you also are a home health care company owner.
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow.
I have my home health agency is Greater Living Home Care. We just got our Medicaid approval. I'm excited about that.
Okay.
That'll be launching next month.
You do everything. I told you, Tiffany. Listen, Tiffany do taxes, fixed credit, home health care, babysit, and do hair in the same house.
She is the jack of all trades.
I'm not by myself. I have a good team. I have a good team that helps.
That's what's up. All right, let me put your info up so everybody can come grab a hold of you. You can go to the website. It's taxmasterplus.com, or you can go to the scoredoctor.com if you need that credit side. Or if you just want to holler at your girl, just go Taxmaster Plus or the Score Doctor, and there's the address over in Richmond Hills, Georgia. Cuz, what you know about Richmond Hills? Is that a nice area?
I have no idea. That's not here.
So, I know it ain't here, cuz we in Texas. I got that. But you travel all over the world. Don't come in here and start acting brand new because we got company.
It's right outside of Savannah.
So, and Tiffany, so people, no matter where they're coming from in the U.S., your companies are like the taxes, Tax Master Plus is, you can do their taxes. You can do the taxes for state to state.
Yes, the only two states I don't do because I haven't had the time to do all of the extra testing is New York and California. But other than those 2 states, yes.
All right. And the credit repair, like you can do that from anywhere as well, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So again, taxmasterplus.com or thescoredoctor.com, or you can check her out. Just screenshot it. Hit the screenshot button on your computer. Y'all know what to do. And just hit that, and you got the info. But also it'll be on the YouTube page or the Noisemaker page, whatever. But you can check it out. Tiffany, thank you so much. We can keep you here all day.
I know, right? You have blown our minds today. We're gonna have
all you've done is made me think about 10 more questions. But
I mean, you're right. It's like pulling a string. You're like, okay, I can wait a minute. One more question. But we do thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, because with all those balls that you're juggling, from taxes to credit repair and all those different things, you took time out to allow us the privilege to get in some of that knowledge you got. I mean, they're still trying to figure it out. I know there's going to be a tight rewatch game where everybody's going to look. Pastor Noise and chimed in and said, "What good information." Pastor Noise, that's what them Zetas be doing. I'm just going to tell you.
That's right. I wore it just for y'all today.
All right. Okay.
We love it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you again, Tiffany. And I'm sure you'll be hearing from some of the noisemakers soon. And hopefully others who will jump on and just be like, I need somebody to fix my taxes. My stuff is janky. So they'll be calling you or fixing their credit or whatever else they need. Now, my babysitting prices are different. So we can't talk about that on this show. That's a whole different thing. But we just focused on credit and taxes today.
Oh, look, Pastor Corey talking about she's a Georgia Zeta. What? You know what, Pastor Corey?
You ain't got to claim Georgia all the time.
I mean,
all the time. Are you born and raised in Georgia?
I am an original Georgia peach.
Okay.
Come on. But now, Tiffany, correct me wrong, I'm gonna let you go. I stalked you a little bit. I don't think Tiffany out here in these streets available though.
I had to think what you were saying.
It's like she available to do your taxes and your credit repair.
But don't be trying to DM her to be like, what's up?
Right. I'm just. Am I wrong, Tiffany? Okay. I just want to make sure because I don't want no problems.
They will DM us.
I don't want a problem because they'll be like, "Oh, Tiffany Cho is brilliant. She's an entrepreneur. What else she got going on? Her husband."
Be like Sister Diaz the week before last. Her husband
had to pull up. He claimed he is on real time, so I just don't want no problems. That's true.
Yeah,
she's a beautiful girl and she's brilliant, but she's also taken. There you go. All right. Thank you, Tiffany. We appreciate you, young lady.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tiffany Murphy. All right, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all need to get that info because some of us be out in these streets. I ain't gonna mention no names or point to nobody. But they be out in these streets trying to do their own thing.
Hey, listen. You heard D Bell say, "Quit being cheap and go ahead and get some to do your stuff."
Pay money.
Y'all implying or assuming that he's not up to code, like he don't know tax law. He could be maybe not the Dalai Lama, but he could be like one of the sheiks in the airport. Like,
I didn't call no names.
Well, you kind of pointed.
Who is he you referring to?
You kind of pointed.
Well, my finger be doing crazy stuff. Cuz, what's going on, man? First of all, cuz you looking very handsome. Look at this. What do you got on?
Okay.
I got that. See, y'all didn't see the details of the shirt with the lines, the trimming lines that come out the shoulders.
Svelte.
If you're going to compliment somebody, try to come close to being honest. Don't just tell outright damn lies.
What lies?
I have on a long john, and you sit into my cuz you got details. It's a long
Cuz we see lines coming off the shoulders.
It's cold as hell in Texas.
It is cold. Now I ain't gonna.
I was gonna say he looked old and thermal, but you know,
It is cold, man. I've been
it's cold. It really is.
I'm still sitting there trying to figure out what the hell a compliment is.
I can't do it.
I said compliment.
You said compliment.
Compliment. You used the Mississippi came out a little bit.
Like pecan, compliment.
Oh my gosh.
Let me see if you understand this. Kiss my ass.
Why? Why?
Properly?
We got guests that came in to hear Mississippi.
No, hell no. He come for me, I'm gonna come for him. Kiss my ass. Was that clear?
Wow. It escalated quickly. I'm not gonna hold you.
Kind of sort of.
That really escalated. I just wow.
Mama knows that was it. I'm done.
Brian, you ain't gotta do that. That's not necessary.
I'm done. I got it out of my system.
Well, I thought you had on a nice sweater. It looked like a nice sweater from where I'm sitting.
Good, man. I'm sitting up in here wrapped up and tied up.
I'm just saying with the line, it had line. Never seen no long john with lines and stuff all over it.
That's because it's a different color. If it was white, you would just see the.
That's them high-end draws. You got on high-end draws.
I got on long john, man. It's cold.
That's high-end draws though, because my draws don't have like a bunch of lines and stuff.
Well, you're not as old as him, so you're probably not wearing.
I'm definitely not wearing tighty whities like some people I know.
I don't know why he just didn't accept a compliment. And
yeah, I gave you a compliment. Jeez.
That's what he said to me a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to give you a black ass a compliment.
Wow. This is a lot.
When he was talking about my haircut a couple of weeks ago.
He was. He
trying
did.
to give you a compliment.
I remember that exchange, Al. I remember that exchange. I do.
Al, I'm waiting on you to go ahead on and join the club, brother, because you fighting an uphill battle.
No, he still got his stuff. Still looks good. It's just thinning, but it looks good. You know what?
I will fight this battle until I sit in her chair and she's like, "Baby, I can't fade that no more."
Is that where the conversation's gonna go?
That is the phrase I'm waiting to hear. "Baby, I can't fade that no more."
Did you guys have the morning invitation to invite them in?
We did not. Well, listen, this was more like Sunday school, and then we started the church service.
Okay.
So, would you like, since you are bringing it up, would you like to bring it?
I tell you what. I do tomorrow if I get the chance. I do tomorrow.
You do tomorrow? Okay. All right. Well, so Al, if you don't mind, because I didn't want to, you don't want to make somebody who came to teach Sunday school wait and all that stuff. That's kind of rude. So let me bring up the organ playing and we'll get this thing going. Here we go.
Noise makers, it's time for the second watch of the day.
Second watch, yes.
Second watch of the day. For those of you that didn't show up for Sunday school, you're just gonna have to make your way to one of the open pews. Get your bulletin and your fan. And please don't sit in the first two rows. That's saved for the deacons and mothers. Come on in, make some noise. Come on, don't tarry. Don't tarry.
Yes. Yeah. One of these times we're going to have to start the service with "Come on in the room. Come on in the room."
Oh,
the nerve of that woman to call that closet a room, but okay.
She did. Jesus is my doctor.
Do you know that song?
He writes down all of my scriptions.
I know how to sing it like that. You know.
All of my medicine.
It took me 6 years to realize what scriptions was. I was like, what?
I thought it was a catch, caught up somewhere between a scripture.
Right, scriptures. I was like, okay, I don't know what she
I'm not scripture, but scriptions. You know, I need my scriptions.
She said he writes out all of my scriptions.
That's right.
Is that the
my grandmother sent me to the pharmacy? She said, pick up all of my scriptions.
All those scriptions, prescriptions, subscriptions.
No, ain't no subscription.
Whatever scripture she got, God taking care of them. Give me all my medicine. in my room.
I mean, because if you have to have a church mother, I'll do that.
I woke up this here last night.
Woke up last night.
And I had something on my spirit.
Did you? Oh my! Do I need to bring the organ back?
Oh Lord!
I was surprised. No, don't.
Only the organ. Okay, all right.
A song that I hadn't heard in years. And I just want to see right quick before we get into the foolishness that Mama Noise is going to bring towards us today. I just want to make sure that
I understand how I get in
you
trouble.
guys can hear this. Let me know if you can hear it.
Okay, come on.
For me.
Millions have. There's room.
Where are the gravelly voice singers anymore? Is that not a thing anymore? Ain't no more gravelly voice singers. Everybody got the same pretty runs, and nobody want to get deep down their throat no more. Nobody
was Reverend Dr. Clay Evans.
Singing
Room
at the grow. We don't have the gravelly voices no more.
I don't know why I woke up this morning with that on my spirit, but I said,
I know why. Because you old as hell.
I felt like the Lord was getting ready to call me home because I
home. Wait a minute.
Home.
All the way.
Were you ready?
All the way home. I mean,
I'm just passing through here. This is not my home.
Oh man.
Oh my. Oh, that's what it is. Because new singers don't smoke cools and Benson Hedges. Oh, that's probably true, Tom.
That is true.
That's actually probably true.
I believe that.
Because right before he hit the stage, I believe with my sanctified imagination, Clay Evans would hit a cool. And for sure, James Cleveland was smoking something.
We should have had that on Saturday when we talking about the blackest on Saturday, because my grandmother used to send me to the store to get two kinds of cigarettes, her and my granddaddy. They was Filter Cools and Pall Mall.
Mama Noise, you're not unique. Every grandpa,
which one of them cigarettes didn't have a filter on them?
Neither one did, I don't think.
Pall Malls, because Cools was Filter Cool.
Was it filtered? Okay. The reason why I was messing with you, Mama Noise, I'm saying, listen, they knew me at the grocery store. My granddaddy smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah, but there was a various amount, different kinds of cigarettes.
Oh, for sure. But it was always the hardcore stuff.
Was it?
Oh yeah, Benson Hedges, Cools, Pall Malls. That's what
else was it?
Those are really the top three, I believe.
But the younger folks smoked a different brand. I can't think of the name. What's the black cigarettes now? It's not Cool. It's something.
No, it's Black and Mild.
Young people smoke the Newports.
The Black and Mild.
Newports. Well, that came in the later 80s.
Newports are prison cigarettes.
Newports was the later 80s. That wasn't at the top of the 80s.
Yeah, all the menthol cigarettes gave you that raspy voice.
I almost feel like it was a church prerequisite. Like before you got the solo, they wanted to know, have you smoked today? Have you smoked?
And then you wonder why you wake up every morning.
Yeah. You need that smoke now. You can't hit that John P. Key without it me.
Oh.
Got to have that. Got to have that.
I didn't realize. But then you know what I think about it? It makes sense now, because all the brothers that would be on the backside of the church out there smoking cigarettes. That made sense.
My first piano church gig, I will never forget. We had just finished playing the song for the choir, and the organist, who was the minister of music, he said, I'm on the piano. He said, and I said, oh man, I done messed up my first gig. Like I done played something wrong. So we walk outside, and he grabbed that pack. He said, pull that cigarette out. He said, "What you think about Sister Sally?" I was like, "Wait, what are we doing? Like, are we having a?" It's like, wait, what just happened?
Y'all was having a meeting.
Well, not the kind of meeting I thought we was going to have. I thought we was going to talk about the music. He was talking about ass. I was like, is this appropriate? This don't feel appropriate. I was trying to be a good Christian boy. He said, "What about Michael Bolton?" Michael Bolton, how did he get in the conversation?
Is he talking about Michael? What's your boy? I can't forget, not in love anymore.
That's Michael McDonald.
McDonald, that's him.
Yeah,
maybe it was him.
No, Michael Bolton was raspy, but him were Marlboro Reds.
Marlboro was those white people cigarettes.
I was going to say that wasn't really. I don't remember going to the store.
For yourself, man. That's what I smoked.
You smoked Marlboro?
That's because you're that way.
Yeah, I smoked. I was a macho bitch. I smoked Marlboro Ultra
Light. I can't take it. I can't.
Marlboro Ultra Lights.
Hey, I'm on the American Airlines, and they said those are not American Airline Advantage numbers.
Okay.
I don't have an American Airline Advantage number account.
Does he think he's muted? He don't think.
We need to mute him to help him.
I was like, "What? We don't need to know any of this."
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah,
old people just crack me up. I ain't gonna lie to you. They think they be muted, but they don't be muted.
Oh my gosh.
They think they'd be muted, but they don't be muted. Listen, it looked like Cuz is trying to get some I don't know, some peace of mind for something that's going wrong.
He could fly to Georgia, get them taxes done, hope.
Well, listen, what
that's
he
right.
needs
She don't do in-person meetings.
No, she'll do in-person meetings.
I ain't mad.
Cuz if you're looking for peace of mind, look no further than NordVPN. Because nothing is more important than peace of mind. Nothing. And that's why NordVPN will get you right online. All these cigarettes you're trying to buy, all these plane tickets you're trying to buy, all these, listen, you're trying to face a lot of threats on the internet. And NordVPN help you because it's the world's best VPN service, offering the fastest connectivity, most servers, next-gen encryption to make sure that everything you do online stays secure. Had you had NordVPN just now, we wouldn't have heard that you was dealing with American Airlines. We wouldn't have known that shit. But we know because you didn't have it. And you can use it on all your computers and devices, like your phone. No matter the operating system. It's unlimited bandwidth, no slow connections, and the plans are under $4 per month. So grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/believe or use the code word BELIEVE. That's BLEAV to get up to 70% off your NordVPN plan plus one additional month for free. It's risk-free for 30 days with a money-back guarantee. There you go. All right. Stephon said he smoked Marlboro Menthol Ultra Light. What you laughing at, Kieta?
Really? Really, Stephon?
I'm sorry. Menthol? I'm sorry.
Marlboro Menthol. Is that the one with this powder blue?
I don't know. He probably listened to Kane Brown too. Like, what are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now? Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus, man.
Well, he said he don't want to accord with Al, so
that's what he said.
Okay, Stephon, the light green.
That's what he said. That's what he said when he said it. That's what he said when he said.
Oh my gosh.
There's more fallout from drunk Michael Jordan. Apparently, Michael Jordan got a little handsy. Might have lightly tapped Mary J. Blige on the booty. Maybe.
No,
that's not his fault.
No,
it's not his fault.
She has a lot of ass, man. It's hard to avoid it.
No,
it's hard to avoid it.
Nope.
spaces. Come on now, you in tight spaces. Everybody.
No.
Stick so far out, man. You gonna rub up against it accidentally. That's
No.
This don't look like an accidental.
The articles I read is he cupped it. It wasn't no accidental bump. It was a whole.
He said, "I'm
handful.
going in." This is.
He had a whole handful.
I'll let y'all. You know what? I'm gonna let y'all be the judge for yourself. I'm not gonna parse it because I don't. You know.
Man, they buddies, man. We grab each other on the ass all the time. Huh?
No, this is not basketball.
I gotta be honest with you, cuz I gotta be honest with you, cuz we've been cool a long time. I've never grabbed your ass. I've never grabbed your ass.
That's because I don't have a Mary J ass. I ain't got
no.
Now, let me say this. She leaned in pretty tight.
Yeah, that's nothing.
So why didn't he keep his hands above the belt line?
And notice how he could have cut the breast from the side, but he was respectful of the breast. Look how
that was him on his way to the breast. That wasn't no
because listen, the breast got spillage and all that. You know, come on,
spillage. You know what, Mr.
Mike did the best he could under some very difficult circumstances.
Right.
Mama Noise, you cannot be that way. We can't ignore the truth.
What is the truth? I can handle it.
The woman got boobs everywhere and ass everywhere.
She's gonna have boobs. That's just a part.
I can't hug you without touching some of it.
No, you shouldn't. What? You can't hug without touching something. What the?
All that ass, all that breast. Come on now.
No. Well, then I'll just when I see you, then I'm just gonna reach my hand out at a distance and shake your hand.
I'm talking about Mary J.
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, he probably felt raped just by hugging her.
Sorry, security.
Put all that shit on it.
She got everybody might have been lit up and just don't really realize how far things went. Like sometimes you don't realize how far you're going when you got that lick up in you.
Wait a minute. Soror said, "Be grabbing your daughter's backside like that."
Number one, my daughter ain't got no business leaning in like
that. Now she ain't got no business leaning in.
Now we questioning the lean.
I'm just saying.
Come on.
Step
by
step.
Listen, Mike is out here grabbing ass. That's what he's doing. Look at that.
Again.
Now that's just firmly having it on there.
You have to understand.
It's resting.
You have to understand how tall Mike is and how short she is. That's where his hand rests.
Well, then his hand should have been on her back then. By he's being so tall. I know all about it.
He could have put it across his shoulder.
He could have kept them on her shoulders.
That wasn't no good morning pastor. If your pastor's a hoe, maybe it was a good morning pastor.
Listen,
because they coming for you in the chat talking about where's your cape at? Where's your cape at? You're supposed to be protecting the black woman.
There it is.
Listen, did Mary J complain?
No. There's been no complaints from Mary J.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it was all good.
I didn't say it was
she said security.
Listen, Mary J ain't the one he got to worry about. Mike out here is a married man, so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but Mike married to them damn near Wahite women. And Mary J is a full sister girl, and he ain't felt nothing like that.
That's a grown woman business.
Right. He married them little women. We can't quite tell where they from.
The little passive woman that's gonna just keep having a bunch of babies.
Nobody knows she passive. We're not gonna pass.
We don't know.
Hey, nobody that he's been married to tops Juanita.
Well, that's why she ain't.
That's just you riding.
Hey, but she resting. She ain't gotta have him no more, but she all right.
We ain't heard from Juanita since he cut the check.
Do we need to hear from her? I mean,
it'd be nice to know she's doing okay. Like
she took her 100 some odd million and was sat down somewhere.
It would be nice to know she's doing okay in life.
Listen, I'm offended. What do you mean, where's Cape Cuz at? I mean, I call it like I see it. I don't ride hard just for women.
Defenders of the earth.
What?
Y'all got me twisted. I'm telling you.
Lies.
I don't.
Lies.
Oh my gosh.
You love
I agree, Soror. You know what,
Love
Jalen?
black
It's
women,
like
bro.
you trying to give Jordan the pass. You be up there talking about, look at him. He's disrespecting the black woman, grabbing her backside like that.
Yeah, like, okay, all right. She gotta check it. She go.
I mean, he hugged the woman. He didn't impregnate her and leave her. I ain't got no problem with that. That was a hug.
That was more than a hug.
I think Juanita got more than 100 million. I think y'all
I
underestimated.
said 100 some odd. I know she got more than that.
Hold on, let me check
Over $100 million.
Back when she got it, that was more than enough.
I'm just saying.
They've been divorced a long time.
She said, I might.
You cannot say that, cuz Noise. You said no amount is enough. That's what you said.
You just ain't gonna twist my words.
No, you said no amount is enough. She deserved everything she can get, is what you said.
To be clear, she got $168 million in 2006.
That's a lot of money, y'all.
She done made investments and stuff. And what she say, Soror? Oh, she got properties and annuities. She doing all right.
A lot of money, y'all.
She probably never
Where is she? I want to know, where is she?
She in Chicago, being great.
Well, listen, 168 million can make you great now. I ain't gonna lie to you. That will up your greatness.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder if does she regret how that ended.
I think any married person regrets the failure of a marriage. Even if it was a bad breakup, you regret that it didn't go. You don't get married with the idea of getting
of course, yeah.
Right. So you regret
But
it didn't work.
For 100 million, I can forget that I was ever married. Wife? What wife?
Oh my gosh.
I agree. 100 million can help you get over it. But
well, and 168 million is
$168 million.
Listen, the heart is a terrible thing. It plays games with you. Sometimes it doesn't happen till the late in the midnight hours, but it still plays games with you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Late in the midnight hour.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
That was a lot. But I'm sure she thought, man, once we get married and we're gonna live our life, we're gonna be happy and stuff. And then Mike was like, what? I get to pick from all these chicks that keep trying to hit me up at every game.
I think he didn't realize that McDonald's commercial was gonna be, what it turned out to be. I mean, not the McDonald's or the Gatorade commercial. What, like Mike, if I could be on top of, as he is me.
Nope.
So that thing escalated, and next thing you know, he was worth $1 billion. He's like, you mean I get to choose? He wasn't ready for choosing.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't ready. He was just like, I'm professional now, and I need to have a wife and settle down.
Is it hard to be given $1 billion and options and still stay faithful?
Is it hard to be?
Because $1 billion in options is it might be hard to stay faithful with $1 billion. I don't know. I'm just asking. You would think it'd be a little easier if you built it together, though, because you built it together.
Like Cuz said, it keeps you up late at night. Keeps you up late at night, man. What if?
I bet it's hard if you're a billionaire and Mary J. Blige is throwing the titties on your chest. Then you're like, damn, I could have. And she's single too. I could have had Mary J. Blige. Could have some real love.
Boo. She did say she was searching.
She said, I'm going down.
And I don't know where to go.
She said, I'm going down. When Mike come around.
Oh my gosh.
What you say, Tara? Would you be for me because I don't want to pay for play, but for those who don't mind paying for play, it's a non-issue? I don't. Am I missing something? I think I understand what you're trying to say, Tara. I think I do. I don't know. Listen, to me, it seemed like it would be easier if y'all built it together, which is basically what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Like they kind of built the whole thing together. She was there for the whole ride. She was the one that bought you the McDonald's after the practice in North Carolina, and you didn't have no money. She bought that shit. So
there to me, and I could be wrong, and some of you other men could help me out, including you, Albie. It's not on the screen right now. There is nothing more empty, I believe, than anybody that allows their life to revolve around sex. It is an extremely shallow existence. Extremely shallow existence.
Okay. Let me help because Mr. Noise. Okay, so
Mama Noise, I see what's going on. You ain't gotta help me. I'm good.
Okay, well, I'm here to help.
You trying to flex?
What?
You trying
I'm
to
trying to answer because Chad gonna talk about she wasn't with me while I was shooting in the gym. So
that's why you getting in your feelings.
I am in my feelings. Always trying to bring up some old.
He's just quoting Rick.
Am I missing something? What the hell got you all riled up, Mama Noise?
Chad says so. She wasn't with me in the gym. Like in other words, Juanita wasn't in the gym shooting the balls at the basketball game and stuff like he was.
So she'll get no credit, is what he said. Well, Rick Ross said that actually. It's a Rick Ross line.
All Chad is trying to do is get you stirred up. He doesn't mean that.
All right.
He doesn't mean that.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Your statement was, is an empty existence to center things around sex. Is that correct?
To center your existence around sex. It's an empty life. Because at some point in your life, it might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, but at some point in your life, you're going to come to the realization that a nut is a nut is a nut.
Can I amend that just slightly? Just slightly. Don't disagree. Just a slight amendment.
Amend it.
The conquest of sex. Because that's where it really becomes dangerous. We all love sex. There ain't anybody out here that don't love sex. We love it. It's amazing. One of the best things ever created. However, when you live a life of conquest, where all you're doing is trying to stack numbers up and say, I hit that, or not even numbers, but names. Because on Mike's level, it's names. Oh, I hit that, or I hit that, or I may have tapped that. So it may be, and I'm not saying Mike was that way, but you know what I'm saying? Like Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter, if you go through his list, Derek knocked off some chicks. He knocked them off. Some names, Prince knocked off some names.
And listen, and at some point, Derek Jeter's going to realize.
Well, he already has.
No matter who she was, it was still a nut. That's all it was.
Right.
Mama Noise, this type of conversation is important. We cannot have this type of conversation.
Why are you sighing, Mama Noise? Why are you offended by this?
I'm just saying, why you gotta say it like that? Why you just can't say,
Because that's how men think. At the end, it's a nut.
No, you ain't always gotta say it like that. We got it the first time. You had to say it 3 times.
Can't be talking about no orgasm. Or orgasm is an orgasm is an orgasm. That ain't how we think.
Well, it is.
Trying to bust a nut. And at some point, you got to realize that it's just that. It's just that. But you have left a trail of destruction for your nuts.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
At some point, you will wake up to it. It may be too late, but at some point, you'll wake up to it.
I look at Mike's life. I'm gonna be honest with you. I look at Mike's life, and it kind of makes me sad sometimes.
Sad? You sad for Mike?
Yeah.
Mike's married.
That ain't the sad part for me.
Mike's rich.
Also, not the sad part for me. Mike seems deeply unsatisfied.
Mm.
Well, hell, so am I. Shit.
Like marriage didn't do it for him. Fatherhood is kind of doing it for him now, but he's still kind of finding his way through that. And no. I'm not telling you something off of unfounded information. I'm telling you what I know. He seems very unfulfilled in many areas. First of all, you're trying to own a team to play on a level that you played on. That's never going to happen. This team is never going to be as good as you were. It's just not. Charlotte Hornets are not going to run off 6 championships ever in the history of that franchise. They might at some point stumble into one if all the stars align. But it's just not going to happen. They're not going to be. So if you can't get fulfillment out of your marriage, and you can't get fulfillment out of your career, and you can't get, what are you searching for?
That's all of our journeys in life.
I agree. I don't disagree with anything you're saying.
His is just done in the public eye because of who he is. But we're all in search of. That's why people can't rest at night, because their mind's still going, because they're in search of.
Yeah. You assume these were not mutual agreements. I never lied to anyone, nor did I have more than one chick at a time. Stefan, are you guilty or something? Like, what's going on?
Because the couple of comments before that, he said, I wasn't looking to get married at 22, and I wasn't trying to get a orgasm either. See how I did that?
Wait a minute now. 22 is a different story now. At 22, we have a lot more irresponsibility than we're willing to admit. We're very irresponsible at that age. We think we know why we're getting married, but we really, 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 really don't know.
Yeah.
But Tara is asking a question for the men, saying, does that ever stop for men?
That we want more than just orgasm? Men, yes. Boys that never grow into men, no.
The male in every man will never stop wanting a nut.
No.
The male in every man will never stop.
I was saying. Well, okay, yes, but that's too incomplete. You can't say that. You can't say it like that. Because the truth is, men don't just want a meaningless nut. They want something with meaning behind it at some point.
Do they?
But the male in him doesn't care. See, that's my point. It's just a nut for the male. The male
right. No, I got you.
Okay.
But that's the question I think she's asking. Does the man ever take over the male and say, I don't want just a random thing. I want something with meaning and substance, and it builds on something. Mama, no, why would you ask, does it? Because I've been married to you 23 years. So of course it does.
I'm saying
hey. It's not about you. Y'all's relationship is different. We're talking in general.
In general.
Well, no, I'm talking specifics too, because the men that the men that marry and desire to stay happily married, they still want a nut, but they just want it in the confines of their situation. They don't want some rando. You can't date until we meet him first for approval. Don't get these boys in Dallas hurt. He's talking about
Zaria.
Thank you, Danny, for fixing that for us. Jay, It stops as soon as you grow up and want a companion. Sex is better with feelings. See, they said you're not telling the truth, Jay.
Listen.
No.
Maturity changes mindset.
No, she's saying that you count the conquest. Do you ever stop that?
No. Listen, we as men have to learn to admit this truth. And the problem with a lot of men is that they're not willing to tell the truth about who we are. There's a war going on in men all the time when it comes to sex. Because the male in us will just about stick anything that moves. If it got a hole in the middle and it feels good too, that's the male in us. The man in us understands the value of the woman and the meaning behind sex. But the male in us doesn't give a damn about the meaning behind sex. It's natural to want to bust. Listen, it's unnatural to be with one person.
Uh-oh.
That's
where the violence started.
Unnatural?
You say it's unnatural to be with one person?
Unnatural to be with one person.
In the beginning, there was the Word, and then Adam, and then Eve. There was just one. Like, God didn't make Adam, Eve, and then Shaniqua, and then Tina. He made Eve, and that was it. He stopped. How's that unnatural? I'm just asking questions. Like,
no, he's reading the chat.
Mr. Noise, you trying to say it's natural for a man to be with one woman his entirety of his life, and that's natural, or is that spiritual?
Why can't it be both? Is that not the original design? I mean, I'm asking questions. You listen, educate us, old man. Tell us. Because he said in the beginning, he said it's not good for you to be alone. He didn't say, I'm about to make this harem of women for you.
The word is monogamy, right? Right?
That is a word that could describe what we're talking about, yes.
Okay. Well, now don't get too deep on me.
No, I'm just asking questions. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from.
Monogamy behavior is
because if Mama Noise about to let a few other ladies up here, I need to know.
You have to choose that lifestyle. It's not natural for men to be monogamous with one woman for the entirety of his existence. It's not natural. You have to choose that.
You have to choose monogamy?
Am I confusing you for real?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you said, okay.
Is he trying to say that monogamy has to be intentional? It has to be something that you
Are you talking about what has become, or are you talking about what?
No, it just comes natural. We all do it because it's just natural for us.
No, cuz listen to what I'm asking.
Shit.
Cuz listen to what I'm asking you. Stop arguing for no reason.
You asking dumb questions.
I'm not asking a dumb question. I'm asking a real question. Are you saying that we have to choose monogamy? Is that what has become, or that is the original design? That's what I'm asking you. Are you saying that society has evolved into a place where monogamy is no longer a natural choice? It's not what we choose anymore? Or are you saying it's always been this way from the beginning? There was nothing ever natural about having one woman. That's what I'm asking. Because that wasn't the original design. I'm asking you some questions, brother, because you threw this out there. That's funny. Well, we got that, Tara. We see that you want to talk about sex. We'll get back to that in a minute. Clearly, Tara wants to talk about orgasm, so we'll get back to that in a minute. Pastor Corey said, the official pastor of Noise Media, he said, but men in the Old Testament did have concubines. That's true. Solomon had 700. Monogamy was instituted by God as a sign of obedience to him.
Which means it has to be intentional. It can't be that.
something.
Because if it wasn't ordained by God, you'd be out here, as Jay so eloquently put, trying to get.
But the part that we're missing out is, or that we're not defining, is the simple fact that is this designed by God? Are we saying that despite the fact that God wants us to be monogamous, and because the word Pastor Corey used was it was instituted by God. Okay, so are you saying, Jay, that the original God design was here's your penis, put it in whatever you like, and then once man, hold on, and then once man got one and started just randomly going around putting it in everything he liked, God said, whoa, back up. Here's what I meant. So the man, though created wildly, like Stefan said, he's a wild beast. He had to clarify it by saying, no, I need you to put it in one woman. That's it.
It is not natural for our flesh to be with one person. It's not natural. Our flesh will be with as many people as it could possibly be with. That's flesh. That's the sin nature. Spiritually, our connection with God says we're supposed to be with one person. That's the war that goes on within us. Daily wars. Some win, some lose. But the battle still goes on. Just because a man gets married to a woman and he loves her with all his heart, he still has to control his flesh.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Choice he has to make. A daily choice. Because if he plays a game and think that this thing just gonna come easy because I love her, I'm never gonna cheat on her, that's a lie, bro. That's a lie. If you put in the right situation, any man, if put in the right situation, I'm gonna say that one more again because some of y'all don't believe it in the back. Any man, if put in the right situation, will cheat.
Okay. I just want to make sure we were clear because like Ron just asked, are we saying God made a mistake? That's what it came across as. And everybody don't understand. I don't want to assume everybody understands what we're saying.
Am I still confusing you? Am I still confusing you?
I was never confused, but I also want to make sure that nobody else is either. Because sometimes we say statements like that and it comes across. We think we hear it one way, but everybody, you listen, your co-pastor don't really follow the book like that. So I want to make sure because he was the one that asked did God make a mistake. So I'm just trying to cover you. Now we can get back to Tara's question because she said women choose that it's no more natural nor unnatural for men than it is for women. She's saying you sounding patriarchal.
Generally speaking, Tara, and I love her conversation because she don't mind going there. Generally speaking, for women to invite a foreign object, Mama Noise, don't hold your head down. I'm speaking.
I don't know where this is going, and I'm bracing myself.
Speaking proper language. For a woman to invite a foreign object into her, generally speaking, she understands what that means. For most men, to place their object into any crevice that will get him to where he's trying to go naturally. You understand? Women are receivers, men are givers. To receive from any and everybody, most women won't do that because of who they are. Receiving is different. But I give all day long. Men do it all the time. Males do it all the time, excuse me. We give, and it didn't mean anything to us. But to invite you in is a different story.
So again, I'm going to ask questions that are a little challenging for this podcast. So are you also insinuating that women don't have the same sexual urges or desires or intensities that men do?
Well, before I answer that question, I want to make sure that was that clean enough for you, Mama Noise? Because I did my best to have a conversation.
Nobody's asking you for that. Only Mama Noise. She just needs to brace herself, like you said. Because even my baby's asking one. So having more than one husband or wife is natural. And Stefan said, you do realize the sex toy industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I'm mercy, Lord. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So that doesn't imply that receiving is a difficult process or they generally don't do it.
No. Now, listen, every woman has a favorite toy. She just don't want to keep switching toys. But
See what you did? That's why I asked the question, because you came across like God made a mistake.
Some women have fallen deeply in love with their toy and their double D batteries.
That's clean, Mama Noise. That was clean. You can't be mad at that.
I'm doing my best, and she just keeps.
You're doing good, bro. I'm proud of you personally. Personally, I'm proud of you. I'm just telling you. Even though you got everybody more confused now than you had before we started.
Mama, no, say what you got to say, because this deep breathing is too much. Just say it. Just say.
Are you saying women don't have the same urges as men? That's what I think everybody's wondering now. Because you out there now, bro.
I'm not saying that women don't have the same urges.
Okay.
I'm not,
what are you saying? Clarify that.
They're saying that women naturally don't have urges to merge. They have the same urge that we have. It's just that women generally won't invite any and everybody into them. They just won't do it. They consider it filthy. Most men don't consider sex. If she got a decent body, most men don't consider sex filthy. But a woman could like a man. He could be fine as all get out, but she's not going to invite him into her just because he's fine and all as all get out.
Well, then you think of when we were young, there was always the stigma of man can go around and stick whatever he wants, go home, change clothes, and nobody looks at him any differently.
Nope.
But when a woman does anything like that, she fasts with her nasty. I mean, look at all the words of skank and skeezer and all that stuff come into play when a woman says, oh, well, then, I just need to get my needs met. And then, I'm ready to raise up. This is not a relationship. This is just understanding. But guys can do it. Then it's the conquest. It's the notch on the gun. It's the bodies. It's all this other positive stuff.
They calling Jay old, and essentially you too, Mama Noise, by saying y'all out of touch. They saying women are out here with these toys and with these invitations in these streets.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's not saying that.
Well, but I think they're saying it. I think they're saying what you're saying different from what y'all saying is that they out here at the same clip as men. Y'all trying to allude that it's not the same clip.
But like I said, with women, all the derogatory words are towards women when we have that mindset.
But my point to you is, I think what they're saying in the chat is the women don't care anymore. And I think there's some truth to that. If you go on to these social media sites, these women don't care about what you think about them, because for all the old fogies that say, oh, she fast, she did that and the other, there's other women that are saying she's sexually liberated and she's free and she's not conforming to societal norms. So
you're correct. Yeah. Some don't. You're correct.
Not more than some. I think the tide has shifted.
Listen, I'm not saying the majority of women out there don't care about every man that comes along and leaves a deposit into her vagina. Most women don't want that.
It's the most that I think people are struggling.
As much of a deposit if you will allow him to leave, and he'll keep doing it.
I think it's the most that people are struggling with today. Y'all saying most, and I don't know if it's most anymore.
If you believe that most women are hoes, we got a problem.
They wouldn't call it that.
Difference.
No. But see, that's the problem. Again, therein lies the challenge of what we're talking about. The language and the description of what you're calling. They would not label themselves as hoes, nor maybe with society anymore. Maybe it's not that there's hoes, they're just sexually free. And matter of fact, I heard a term the other day by the rapper Saweetie, and I think she called it sexual. No, it wasn't liberation. It was something along those lines of sexual liberation and something. I don't know, but it's a new term that they're saying when a woman has the same rights and choices as a man. That's not being a hoe. That's just being free. I get to do what I want to do, like he get to do what he want to do. And
I don't disagree that the evolution.
Right.
I don't disagree that the evolution of the mindset of women have changed, in large part because of the game that's been played so long by males in society. So now women no longer expect love. There are single women on this chat right now that have no business being single.
Okay.
But because of male behavior, women have now said, fuck it, Mama Noise, he brought me to this point. I was trying to be good.
Were you though?
Women have now said, fuck it.
But were you though? Like good, really?
No,
that seems a little strong.
Women have now said, forget it. I'm no longer looking for love. I'm going to go out here and feel my natural needs just like men feel their natural needs. Let me tell you something. I believe this to my core. And I may be 50-something odd years old. 53, I forgot. That's why I said some odd. 53 years old. But I'm telling you something. I'm telling you the truth. Women are not built that way. And eventually, you're going to have mental troubles because of what you have allowed to take place inside of your body that led to nothing other than sex. You're not built that way. It's only a matter of time. Just like men have to eventually wake up to who we really are supposed to be, a woman will have to eventually wake up to who she's supposed to be.
Okay.
Preaching today.
Okay. Was I confusing there?
No.
Well, I'm saying because in the chat they say you trying to speak. Are you trying to speak for women?
Of course, he's trying to speak to women. Listen, first of all, we'll never forget. Defenders of the earth. That ain't changing.
She said, are you speaking as a woman? No, I'm not speaking as a woman.
I don't know if you're wrong, because my experience has been that women who are so-called liberated sexually, they might tell you publicly that they're fine, but privately they're not.
They're hurting.
Yeah.
That's how they're made.
Yeah, and they'll tell you that, but it's not true. At least that's been my experience. Now maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it doesn't feel like I'm wrong because I've dealt with enough that is like that. I mean, not lie. That's strong, but have fooled themselves into saying it publicly.
Do women want love? Have women given up? Those that don't, Mama Noise, I like what you just said. Perfect. Those that don't want the love, are they not wanting it because they've given up on it?
I don't know if anybody don't want love.
That which I can't get, I convince myself that I don't want it.
I don't know if anybody doesn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mama Noise.
Yeah.
I was just saying that perhaps what happens is the hardening of the heart. That you're not. You've tried to get what you wanted. You haven't been successful. So you just all out, okay, then if that's the way the game is played, then let me take my heart out of the equation. And, I know how to make the arrangement. You get what you need. I get what I need. And then, we just go our separate ways and we just pull up whenever we have a need. And it's realized that that's just something I'm just not going to get.
So that's kind of what I was going to say. And Danny kind of said it as well. He said, I think it's more in alignment with everybody wants love, but after being scarred enough, you choose to believe that it may not be possible.
Perfect.
And then as years continue to stack upon years, you really start to give up on the possibility. because you say, well, maybe I'm not ever going to get that. So I'll get the next best thing, which is sexual satisfaction. Pleasure, right. And I don't know. And honestly, that's a strategy. It's not, I think it's a flawed strategy because it's not real, or is it sustainable? And I think you can talk yourself into believing that you're comfortable with anything, even though the truth may be you're not. We can listen. I watch people I'm just going to say this real quick. I watch people lie to themselves all day, every day as a counselor, all day, every day. I've sat with them as they've lied to my face. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. And then when you start to scale back the truth, you see the pain and the scars. So I get why people lie to themselves and try to make you think that is more than what they're saying. But you're only fooling yourself. We can see what you're saying.
And for your mental stability,
yeah,
you just about have to lie to yourself.
Right. Because
it's a defense mechanism.
Yes, it is.
If you're looking to not break down emotionally and mentally, then yes, that what you just said is 100% true. But the other truth to that statement is that you're really delaying the inevitable. At some point, you're gonna break down and have to come to the realization that all that you've created, the wall or the life or the persona that you've created, simply isn't real or true.
Wasn't real. Nope. So back to Stefan's comment about we going out to the grown folks sex club and these women that are just trying to
not the sex clubs.
Well, what did he say?
He said if you just go out to go out to the local grown sexes.
And these women out here trying to get their back blown out.
They want their back, and that may be true.
I don't disagree that dysfunction doesn't exist. I know it exists because that's their only hope for any pleasure. There is no hope for a lot of our women, and that's why now
or men. Let me. I don't want to.
Hold on. Let me finish my thought. Then before I forget it. That's why I ride so hard for black women.
That is exactly right, baby.
Defenders of the earth. That shit out of because many of them have given up hope. They have no hope, and that's a fact.
But I would say this too, because I'm gonna ride for the brothers today. Same thing applies.
Let me tell you something. Seriously, all joking aside, if a man wants to get married, there is nothing stopping him from getting married. There are a lot of women out there wanting to get married, wanting love, and can't find it.
There are a lot of women out there that want to get married. However, there may not be the women that men are currently looking for. And I'm not. And here, hold on. Here's what I'm saying. Because men have been jacked up about what a marriage is for so long, they're looking for something the wrong way. So men are as guilty in this equation as the women are. Women have given up hope, and men are looking for false hope. They're looking for something that does not exist. I cannot tell you how many times men come up to me and say, bro, man, I love what you and Mama Noise got. And I be thinking to myself, nigga, do you know what we've had to go through to get to what you see publicly? Do you know what we've gone through privately to get to what you see publicly? Mm-hmm. I didn't just find this and it came like this right out the package. And she didn't just find me and it came like that out the package. We put in work. But most men are taught today that if it doesn't come packaged in a plug and play type situation, then it's not the right woman. The truth of the matter is nobody comes in a plug and play situation, men or women, because the damage is too great.
Read what Tara said.
Which one? She got like 90 comments. I'm just playing, Tara. Keep it coming, girl. Keep it coming. What'd she say? So that one, no, that wasn't it. We already showed that one.
That one right there.
The marginalization of the sex that we're made to go together. What does that mean?
That it sounds like she's saying that's not real. We marginalize women saying that they're supposed to be with a man. that we're supposed to reproduce, I guess, that we're supposed to be together. Is that what she's saying?
I don't know. I'd like to hear that. Stefan said, you guys are speaking fact, but all those layers of years of pain and scars are what makes it so difficult for growing. And that's all we're saying.
Yeah.
It's both sides. Both sides are scarred and damaged and misinformed.
Yeah.
Here's the danger of men going out looking for a wife today. They're going out with bad information. So they don't even know what to look for. So they think it's a big ass or nice titties or whatever, and they get that and they say, well, but she comes angry and she comes, why is she so frustrated? And why is she, wait a minute, why is she attacking me? And why is she accusing me of this and I haven't done anything? And there's all these other issues, and you don't realize you're going to get 9 times out of 10, you're going to date pain.
Have mercy.
Yeah.
You're going to date pain on either side. On either side. So if you come to the dating, I don't care. Listen, me and Mama Noise, me and Cuz, we've all been out the game a long time, but the game ain't changed.
You may think
y'all might be trying to tell us the game has changed, and what we try to tell y'all playing the same game, just updated.
That's it. It's just got technology.
It's just got technology. It's updated. It's the same damn game.
Yeah.
We dated pain and married pain just like y'all gonna date pain and marry pain. Nothing has changed because the black family ain't changed. The black community ain't changed. We still doing as much damage today as we did 23, 25, 30 years ago. So you're coming into a dangerous situation and expecting this mythical, magical thing to unfold, and that's not necessarily how it happens. Oh, Tara said the goal is not just to get married. Ooh,
that's
man.
a tough statement.
Whoa, that's tough.
That's a tough statement. And I can address that my way.
I have a feeling it's gonna be the same way, but go ahead.
You are not correct, Tara. The goal is to get married and then to do your work on your marriage. You're not going to marry the perfect person. You're not going to marry your knight in shining armor. You're gonna marry some broken ass nigga that needs a woman to help him along the way. It still needs to be polished and shined. He ain't quite there. He got some rough edges that need to be made smooth. That's the reality of life.
Yeah. I don't love you not marrying your knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
I don't love that. Only for this reason. Not that you're wrong. I just want to say it differently. He might be a knight in shining armor. He might be a knight, just not in shining armor. That's right. That's the reality. He's a knight. He is there to rescue you, just like you're there to rescue him. Just your arm is all jacked up. Both of you look crazy when you came and saw each other. So that might be, and which is and speaks to the difficultness of the connection, because you're looking for something that is polished and ready and prepared with all of the bells. And here's the reality. I'm going to blow some women's minds. Y'all ready, single women? Here it comes. Michael B. Jordan is damaged. He damaged.
Okay.
If you really know who he is, he's damaged. He ain't perfect. Idris Elba, not perfect. Michael Ealy, not perfect. Sorry.
Okay. Well, you're just saying that all these guys on the exterior that we're looking at
that look to be perfect. Yeah,
they look perfect because they have this and that. Which, in the same token, is you looking at the different women, whoever they are, and like you said, who's got the tatas, who's got the tail, and all that type of stuff, and you're saying, oh, she's perfect, she's the bomb.com, but then all of these individuals that jump out there and marry these chicks straight off of the gram like they ordered them out of some type of catalog, discover that there's a whole lot more going on than what's on the exterior.
And let me say this too, because I want to speak to something Tara keeps bringing up. I want to make sure I'm clear on this. The reason why we're not focusing on the receiving or the sex part is because that should not be the goal. Your sexual desires and your sexual completion and satisfaction should also be wrapped up in the bringing together of two true hearts for the purpose of what marriage is supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. Now, that's not what it is. That's not what society has made it, but that is what it's supposed to be. And because we keep altering it and changing it and trying to do it our way, we keep getting our results. It's almost like you can't really complain about a problem you keep perpetuating.
Okay.
So help me out, because I'm from Mississippi. Reading is not fundamental.
Go ahead.
What exactly is she trying to say? She keeps bringing up about the lesser sexes. What is she saying?
It's obviously hard to interpret from the reading, but in my opinion, it feels like there's this because the statement is the problem is one that was considered the lesser sex is not receiving, but having different expectations of whom we commit to. And I'm saying to that statement, speaking specifically to that statement, it's not even about the receiving. It's about what is marriage supposed to be? What is bringing the man and woman together supposed to accomplish? Is it just about satisfaction? Is it just about sexual gratification, or is there far more to it? And the reason why we've eliminated the far more to it is because of the damage that's been done in these relationships. So now, rather than deal with the mythical expectation of I'm going to get what I need emotionally, mentally, and physically, I'll just take the physical and leave all the other stuff to the side, as if you can do that. But it's not real. That's not true. Listen, people lie to each other all the time. Oh, this is just a jump off. This is just this, that, and the other. But then you get a feeling when you see a jump out somewhere with somebody else. Right, so you're lying to yourself. It's not real. It's not real. That's my point. And that's what I'm saying, Tara. You're saying it's not the same, and I'm disagreeing with you tremendously.
Okay.
It is the same. It is the same. But we've made it not the same. But just because you make something or you say it's something different, that don't mean it is different. It goes back to what Cuz said. Women are not, I agree, listen, full disclosure, I agree with Cuz 100%. Women are not built to just be out here freaking everybody. They're not built that way. And women that are doing it are playing a losing game.
Didn't we have this discussion? I think we had it on Uncorked Wine one night, and Dr. Smith was saying the same thing. She was saying, we do put on airs like, I don't care. I'm just in it to win it. I don't this and that. And she like, we do a good job at putting on the front that's where we are. But the truth is, and she said the same thing. I don't believe. Now, she didn't say this was, according to her expertise as a doctor, but she said, I don't believe that that's the way we're built.
And again, go back to Tara's comment. She said the lesser sex, as in male and female society, the female is considered the lesser sex. Okay, in society, I don't disagree with that. But that is also part of the problem, because we're using societal definitions to define something that wasn't initially created by society. We keep getting society's janky results, and then have the nerve to complain about it.
And that's toxic male masculinity behavior that has convinced women that they are. And that's not something new. That's not this generation or the last generation. That's always been. The women have been treated less than, and even as if there's a point in history where women were not even supposed to enjoy sex.
Right.
They're just supposed to have sex just to reproduce. It wasn't even about them having pleasure from the sex.
Oh yeah,
and by the way, here comes about the left hook. A lot of that came from the church. A lot of that ideology of don't enjoy it. Yeah, man. A lot of that ideology of you're supposed to reproduce and multiply and all that stuff. That's church stuff.
But that's Middle Eastern African too now. That's
right. I agree with that. 100%. 100%. It's a combination of all of it. So a mix of a European and African, the whole nine. It's all in there together. Okay. Women are considered, but I think that part of where we are has changed a little bit to where I think it has. I could be wrong, but I think we've gotten to a place where we understand that it's okay for everybody to enjoy having sex. I think we've gotten to that place. I think we have. Maybe we haven't.
Oh no, I agree with that.
Maybe we have. I don't know, but
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But see, to me, there's a point to sex, though, and this is maybe where I'm a little off, Latar. There's pleasure in sex.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a certain amount of, for lack of a better way to put it, selfish need to be pleased in sex.
I get that.
But there's also a point to sex, which is why I don't understand homosexuality.
Oh, we took a left turn.
No, I'm not trying to take a left turn. I'm not trying to be, anything other than truthful. I understand that people have the right in this country. I understand that we don't understand the science of why they're that way. I believe that. But I don't understand the point of a man and a man, a woman and a woman, because there is no reproduction involved. Scientifically, it doesn't make sense. If you got to strap on something in order to please a woman, what are we doing?
Right. There's a celebrity.
If you got to douche your booty hole in order to stick something up your booty hole, what are we doing?
Zara, you might need to mute mom.
Oh my God! Trying to have a conversation. I don't understand the point of it.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
Listen, I don't get that whole thing either. If I'm being honest, I don't. You're attracted to women and you want a woman, but through that process, somebody has to take the role of a man.
Well,
that just sounds like psychological confusion to me. But again, I don't really like to speak about stuff I don't understand.
Right.
I don't understand that. I don't get it.
That's true.
So
I'm not putting anybody down. I'm not doing that at all. But as I have conversations with my daughter, and she tells me she got gay friends here and gay friends there, what does that mean? What? There's a point. There's a purpose for a man to merge with a woman. We got billions of people on this earth, and then none of it came through homosexuality. There was semen implanted, left to fertilize an egg.
Ron says because it's about love, happiness, joy, and peace. Because a whole is a whole.
Well, I disagree with that part. I disagree with that, and I fight that one all the time.
When do we get to the age where we want true intimacy and not just that's the question that that's the question that set all this off.
There you go, right there.
Pleasure has nothing to do with your sexuality. How could it not, though? Because if that's true, if that statement is what is true, Stefan, then there would be no need to declare your sexuality. Think about it. If pleasure is pleasure, then there's no need to declare your sexuality, because all you're looking for in the end is pleasure, and who gave you the pleasure should not matter. If based on what you just said.
It blows my mind to hear so much conversation about a person's sexuality, and you say, man, why do we need to know who you're having sex with? Why is that important for me to know this information? Why is that so,
that goes back to what Ron said, because of love, happiness, joy, and peace.
Yeah, but I mean,
all four things. We want all four things, but we want them on our terms without having to go through the stigmas that society has tied to those 4 things. In order to get love, happiness, joy, and peace, here are the steps society says and religion says that you have to go through to get those. So we want those we want those on our terms. We don't want to have to live by your rules to get to that part. That's why. That's why. So then society comes back and says, no, you need to tell us who you getting your love, happiness, joy, and peace from.
As if.
And they want to walk down the streets and hold hands the same way you do.
Okay, but that still doesn't mean that I need to know not just who you are as a person, not your name, not, are you a person of integrity? Are you a person of character? I need to know what the sex part. That just blows my mind. I don't even understand why that's of importance. But anyway, I digress.
Well, listen, again, it's because people want they want the very same things that everybody else wants. They want the whole thing. They want the whole experience, and they don't want to have to live by society and religious rules in order to get it.
Okay.
So there you go. That's the reality.
Okay.
Can I get what everybody else is getting without having to do what everybody else had to do?
Can I get what everybody else is getting?
Yes, I want a family, and I want your happiness, and I want your joy, and I want companionship and someone to quote unquote love me, but I want to do it this way. So why can't I do it this way as opposed to the way you told me to do it?
Well, you can, but you gonna just prepare yourself that there's gonna be people that's not thinking the way you think, and they're gonna give you the smoke.
Are losing their minds because they have a bunch of sexual partners creating a lot of different soul ties. He took it a whole different place.
Woo!
Okay. Sexuality is a stickler for me, as when I was a teen, I dealt with one of my closest loved ones being stricken with HIV because of ignorance tied to sex or sexuality.
Wow, what a statement. Wow.
Okay.
Listen, that reality is strong. That reality is strong because it's everybody's on this journey to try to find what Ron said, and he's not wrong. Those are that's kind of what we're all looking for: love, happiness, joy, peace. We're looking for those things. We just
love and happiness,
and then if we've gone through any measure of pain or rejection, then we start saying, well, I tried it your way. I didn't get it the way that y'all said I should be able to. Y'all get it. I didn't get it the way that y'all said it comes. So I'm gonna try a different way, and I shouldn't be ostracized or criticized or rejected because I did it a different way than what you wanted me to do it. That's what they're saying.
Listen, the search for love and joy, right?
Yeah.
Peace and happiness. You have to understand that all of that, none of that is totally about the individual. I can't seek that out to the demise of others.
Okay.
I just can't. I am responsible for the trail, the damage that I leave behind in my selfish pursuit for what pleases me. So even though we're all in search of it, we all have responsibilities one to another. The problem is too many people don't give a damn about the others. They only care about themselves.
So now I'm playing devil's advocate. So my sexual preference affects you? How does it affect you?
Whew. One of the problems that I have, and I'm just being naked as I possibly can be. I think I've said it on this here podcast before. One of the problems I have with black male homosexuality, it is destroying our black community. It has a role to play. If we're all homosexuals, then the human experience cannot continue. We have to reproduce on Earth. And if our women cannot find a suitable man to reproduce with, then we're in trouble. And just think now, if 10% of the black male population is gay, then that's 10% of the males that our women don't have. And apparently, it seems to be okay now that number is no longer 10%. I'm just throwing out numbers. We okay with that number growing to 20%. Hell, everybody pursue what you want to pursue. 50% of black males now gay. Y'all, that's a problem. So does your sexual orientation affect me? I think it affects our community. I do. Now, I could be wrong, and please tell me if you think I am. I have no problem with that. But just the pure numbers game, it's not a good thing. Boy, did I keep myself clean, man. I tried so hard.
You did good, man. I listen.
I didn't want my boys to choke on that damn popcorn, so I said, let me keep this as clean as I possibly can.
Stefan said, facts are there are more women than men, so everyone ain't getting a man. I don't even respond to that.
Well, even if that is true, so our women are already at a deficit. Now we're adding in homosexuality. Now we're adding in prison. Now we're adding in married men. Come on, y'all. It's a numbers game. That's why I have a problem. I don't have a problem with homosexuality because I ain't the creator of heaven and earth, but I don't understand it, and I think it's detrimental to our long-term existence.
Well, I tell you, this show is one of the best podcasts on this here earth we got.
She holding the popcorn.
Mama, no, we'll get to the popcorn later. It ain't time for a plug yet.
On her crab legs.
Yeah, we ain't there yet. We'll get there. We're in a heavy conversation. You want to start plugging popcorn?
Oh, that's one of them conversations that you do eat popcorn. You just going back and forth between the two of y'all.
Okay, Mama.
Hey, look at what Ron said. If 50% of the men are gone, then shit. Now we get to have our harem because.
Well, there was a post we saw a couple of weeks ago where a woman said, "Y'all got to start sharing because it's ugly out here."
It's ugly, yeah.
It's ugly out here. I think the challenge of what we're saying is that, we got to stop making excuses for that, though. I understand what Tara's saying. Closeted gay folks have been reproducing all the time, but they're not reproducing with themselves. They're reproducing with other men. Other women are reproducing with other men. They're getting with lesbian couples are getting with men to reproduce. Men are getting with women to reproduce. So it's still the same thing. But the problem is that it also creates a deconstruct of the traditional family. Now, if that's what we're trying to go, if that's what we're trying to accomplish, then okay.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Okay.
Then we're on our way.
Yeah, if we're trying to deconstruct the traditional family altogether, then okay. then that's what it is. But if we're still trying to say that black fathers need to be in the home with black mothers and or in the black community, then we got a real problem here. Stephon said we have to honestly stop believing God told us that race was an issue. There is no black and white heaven. Yes, we want to build a stable community, but God never said you're supposed to stick with one race.
And I totally agree. I 100% agree with that.
Okay. But
woo, Stephon, I 100% agree with you. But when you come from a black woman, you saw the struggles of that black woman. I don't know how you can't have a heart for a black woman. I really don't understand that. It doesn't add up to me. You know the pain that our black women are experiencing. How can you as a man not want to get one and love her the way that she should be loved? A part of my stick-to-itiveness with my black wife is not just because I love her, but because I have an obligation to my community. And I feel the pain of black women. I honestly do. So therefore, I'm gonna love the one that I have the best way that I can.
My comment to Stephon's comment is this. If that statement is true and you and Tara seem to be in agreement with what y'all saying, then somebody need to tell the other races that, because they don't do that.
What do you mean? They don't do what?
Asians are dating Asians and Indians are dating Asians. I'm not saying exclusively, but they are. They build their own communities.
Listen, there is a large portion of black Asian population in this country.
No. I'm not saying that there's not a crossing, but you look at the communities, they typically stay in their own communities.
Oh, we typically stay in our own community.
Well, then, so what? So then, just because there's a group of people stepping out of the community, don't mean it's not. You know, I mean, those are anomalies. I mean, those are not anomalies.
I don't believe that black women at this point in our existence should stick with just black men in the dating game. I don't believe they should.
They said Mama Noise you wouldn't be here if they didn't mix the races.
The numbers are stacked against them. Go find you somebody that's gonna love you. I do believe that. Race is a human thing.
I think, I know this is hard coming from me, but I'm just gonna say that. It's just that I think that is a lot of the problem, is that we feel that
obligated
black women, there's no men out there or whatever. We say there's no men out there. Oh, there's men. You just trying to stay within a certain bracket. You trying to stay within your church community. You trying to stay within your neighborhood. You trying to stay in those places. Well, guess what? That ain't where he at. I knew long ago. I didn't know why I knew it, but in my heart of hearts, I said, whoever's supposed to be my husband ain't looking for me right here. I knew he was supposed to be from somewhere else, because the mindset, this was no shade on where I'm from, but it was like the mindset of the different brothers I kept running into. I was like, this is not this. They all had the same mentality. And I was like, okay, I need whoever it is for me is from somewhere else. And a lot of women ain't willing to travel. And I ain't talking about to the Virgin Islands. I ain't talking about to Jamaica. I'm talking about you just want to stay within your four corners of your city. And, but you got to venture out sometimes, branch out. And I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm an expert now, but one thing I did before I met Mr. Noise is I would travel. I said, whoever it is, he might be where I'm at. I traveled to Miami, traveled to Tennessee, traveled to different states and stuff, not in search of someone, but knowing that I need to get to a place where there's somebody that I meet with the same mindset that I do. So some of it is that we just need to break out of that. You just keep trying to stay in the same. All the dudes at your church. All the dudes at your job. You're familiar with most of them same dudes. So why you keep trying to make make it hard for the person who's actually looking for you because you won't go nowhere.
That's what the pastor said. He said the Lord gonna send me a husband. So I need to be here every Sunday to make sure she see me.
No, then don't misinterpret what the pastor say. He didn't say nothing about he gonna be here next Sunday.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
In fact, you need to leave outside of the church and outside of the job. You already screwed half of them.
Oh God, what just happened?
I apologize.
Damn.
I apologize. I just
No, you don't. You don't apologize.
the hell? Had to say something stupid. It was too
It was
serious.
good. It was funny. I liked it. I'm here for it.
Long, so I had to say something.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I listen. y'all on fire today. I want to just plug something real quick, just because it kind of ties all together. Tomorrow, we're gonna kind of extend this conversation. I got a lot to tie into what we've talked about today. So, how do I save my life? How do I save my life? How do I find everything that what Ron was talking about? Love, happiness, joy. I want to find a mate. I want to get in this right situation. I want to get the right job. I want to fulfill this dream. I want to come out of this mud that I'm in. How do I do it? And do I have to do extreme measures? Is going to homosexuality an extreme measure?
Ooh, and that's tomorrow, right?
That's tomorrow's show. Yeah. Tara said,
I don't want to be on that one.
You got to be on that one. You started this. No, you didn't.
This is facts.
Tara says she prefers a black man, but who is to say that it will be a black man that changed my name for the last time? And that entire, you're 1,000% correct. And let me just say this also. I don't know if I could, in good conscience. Ooh, this is a painful statement to make right here. Because I just felt the pain of it as it was forming in my throat. I can't say in good conscience to a black woman today that you need to wait on a good black man. I can't do that. Woo, that hurts, man. That hurt. That really hurt. But it's the truth, though. I can't
say it one more time for the people in the back.
I can't say in good conscience to a single black woman today or a single black man. God, dog. That you need to wait.
A ninja could find a black woman now. I'm sorry. I would.
I know what you're saying, cuz. I know what you're saying.
I never believe that a man can't find a good black woman. I would never believe that.
That's tough, man, because I want my daughters more than anything to marry a good, strong black man. I just don't know if they can. And I'm gonna tell you something. I really believe one thing I've already resolved in my mind, heart, and spirit, that the black man she does end up with, I'm gonna have to take him to the wood shop and help him. I just don't think it's possible for her to get the black man that I want her to have without me, helping him round out some edges.
But when you said that, immediately, we talk about all the time the different TV series that we're binge watching and so forth. And I just finished binge watching the first season of Godfather of Harlem last night. But the reason why I brought that up is that in certain cultures, like this specifically was about the Italians. They was like, first of all, you don't even come to my daughter until you come through me. In the first place, coming to the father. He said, I asked her out on a date. What? You asked her out on a date without coming through me? And I'm thinking, you know what? At first, it sounds like, man, he's trying to control everything. But then I think, wait a minute. It's because the father can see if this is a real dude or is this a dude that just in it for the tail? And that's the part that his daughter can't see. She's seeing it as, this guy, he likes me. I like him. I think I like him. But the father's saying, come to me. Let me see what he looks like. Let me sit down with him and then I'll decide if he's dating material. And then the other cultures, the Indian culture, there's so many other cultures that are like, I need to see this guy before this guy is given the privilege to date your daughter.
Can I address something Stefan just said? He said the moment we truly open ourselves to love, we will end this cancer called racism. Yeah, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. You know why I don't believe that? Because it hasn't. It hasn't.
I don't know if I disagree with Stefan now.
I don't agree with that. Well, tell me where it has then. You know, we elected a president that was biracial.
Listen.
How'd that work out for us?
When we truly open ourselves to love, put it back up there. Oh, I'm sorry. What was it?
Go ahead.
The moment we truly open ourselves to love, we will end this cancer called racism.
No.
I believe love conquers racism.
Relational love? That's what he's talking about.
It's not instant, but it will conquer racism.
Hold on. Relational love, because that's what he's talking about.
I believe relational love eventually will conquer racism.
Not at all.
The Wahite is a plan, a losing hand. In interracial dating. It's a losing hand. They cannot continue their pure blue-eyed, blonde hair race in interracial relationships.
I hear you.
It takes time, but that's a losing battle for them. That's a fact, Jack.
If you're saying me interracial relationships makes it harder for racists to be racist or to continue to build racist people, I can give you. I'll get on board with that. But if you're telling me that relational love, is going to cure racism, no.
I didn't say it will cure, but
I'm telling you what Stefan said.
It makes it harder over time. The more the mixing of the races, the harder it will be. Who will you hate if the races are all mixed?
Here's how here's how I know that's not true. And I love you guys, but I'm gonna tell you this is how I know it's not true. Do black people hate interracial relationships? Do black people hate them?
Well, it depends.
We go back and forth, but for the most part, we don't really care. Would you agree with that? We don't really care.
Black people tend to accept everybody.
We'll accept it before anybody else will.
Well, black women hate to see a black man with a white woman.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. But I think that's even fading among the black community because younger black women, they don't really care. They don't really care. They just don't.
Unless his ass is fat and funky, he better not be with no white woman. For black women.
Sometimes.
Nice looking self. You got a suit on, you ride in a nice car, you got a nice back, and you with a white woman, ninja is what she thinking to herself. She might
then let me go. Okay, then you actually going to make my point a different way, but I'll ride with your statement. If that is true, and we are the most accepting race on the planet, then there's no hope for it. Love ain't gonna get it done.
He said once we embrace.
Embrace. The man said the moment we truly open ourselves to love, we will end this cancer called racism. We have.
No, we haven't. That's the point. We haven't. We're not there. He is correct. I believe.
And then let me tell you, okay, so you agree with all these commercials that got these interracial couples. Hold on. You agree with all these commercials that got the interracial couples and they all come together and they popping you with the black man and the white woman well, it's more black women and white men in those commercials than anything. But you agree with those commercials, that's going to help break down the racial barriers.
You know, when we embrace love, regardless of the color, when we embrace love, person to person, racism has to die. I don't see how, because you're going to have to find a different reason to hate because everybody's mixed. Too many white people are walking around here with the pure belief that they are pure. They're not really even pure. Their belief that they're pure and everybody else is other.
You do realize that Mitch McConnell has a whole Asian wife that he don't go outside with, right?
You do realize Mitch McConnell's playing politics because of money and power.
But that's my point, cuz that in order for, because see, my definition of understanding what love is, patience, kind, not puffed up, believes all things, endures all things, all of those different elements of what love is, we're not using that in relational love, let alone the actual definition of love. So no, I just don't believe that relational love, me getting with a white woman, is going to shift the racial balance in America.
That's just like saying what you've done with your wife and loving her and building those kids up as a couple doesn't have a long-term impact on society.
No, it's not the same thing at all.
Yes, it is.
No,
yes,
it is. It's not. It's not the same thing at all. Because what the statement was, love can cure the cancer of racism. Now, can my love for my wife cure the cancer of racism? No. Teaching my kids how to love people can cure the cancer of racism. That's different. That's different.
I wasn't talking about the impact of your relationship on love. I was talking about the impact of your relationship on society. It has a long-term impact on society. One family at a time will have a long-term impact.
Look at what Stefan just said.
You can't hold on. You can't clean your hands and wipe your hands and say there is no hope. There is hope.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But look at what Stefan just said. That's the problem. When you stop seeing him as black women and white men, you fix the problem. That's what we're gonna do. Because that's what you're riding for right now, cuz. You said we're gonna stop seeing him as a black man and a white woman together. We don't see that part. You just see a couple in love.
And we don't see color.
Well, now, let me say this. One thing I know for sure is I'm not colorblind.
And that's my point. That is my point.
But I do believe that you can find love in any race.
No question. No question.
And I do believe that the more we find love in different races, the less racism will be dominant. The less dominant racism will be in society. The more merging of the races, the less dominant racism will be in society.
Well, then let's use the Cuz Noise mixing races method of ending racism, and let's end this thing.
Let's just be honest. Even though I believe racism exists, there's a lot more classism going on than we're willing to admit.
Okay, let's get to the conversation, but okay, let's go.
Everything's not always about race. Some of it is class. My point for saying that is you're going to have to find a different reason to hate because we're actually moving farther and farther away from racism. We are already actually doing it. Our kids are moving farther and farther away from the racism that existed, that was there when we were kids.
I agree with that.
Moving farther away from it because they don't see race the way we see race. And they're willing to date any and everybody to a degree.
That, I agree. But I don't know if, well, that's a whole nother conversation. I wish we had more time. I wish you had more
You
time.
wish we had more time. I don't believe you wish we had more time because you would have to admit that I'm right. And you don't want to say that I'm right.
What are you talking about? You just, Cuz comes here to win every day. This is really his goal. His goal is to win. Then why do I have to admit that you're right?
I promise that's not why I come.
Why do I have to admit that you're right? Then what is that?
You promise?
Admitting that you're right means that you're winning whatever this thing is you think that we're winning in your head.
No. I promise you I'm not trying to win. I promise you I'm not trying to win.
Because you are a wise sage, and we appreciate your counsel and your rightness, even sometimes when you're wrong.
Though it is hard to believe,
in
society we are moving farther away from racism. We really are. It's hard to, when you're in the midst of the storm, it's hard to see that the storm is actually ending.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just over the horizon. If you go on top of a hill, you can see that the clouds are actually not over there, and that front is coming our way. But it's hard to see it when you're in the middle of the storm.
I don't think you can end any racism in America if the formula to end racism in America is ignoring the very essence of who you are to do it. If I gotta stop being black or stop being seen as black in order to end racism, whether it's in relationships or otherwise, we are not truly dealing with the circumstances that surround racism. Racism is believing that one race is superior to all the others. And if my blackness or my Asianness or my Hispanicness is never going to be comparable to whiteness, then we always will have a problem. And so if I got to dilute my race in order to make you feel comfortable, that's a problem.
Do you believe, I know we got to rush to a close.
Hasten is what the preacher says. Hasten.
Do you believe that America is browning?
Do
you believe that white people have less of a percentage than what they used to have as the majority race?
Absolutely.
Yes, but I don't know if that's. I don't know if that is. Hold on. I get the answer I want to answer. Damn it. I don't know if that's just because that it's a blending of races.
No. I didn't say that.
Okay,
I
asked
you a simple question,
and I answered it the way I wanted to answer it.
The answer to the question was yes.
I answered it the way I wanted to answer it.
The answer to your question was yes.
Because I don't believe it's because of a blending of races. You're not going to chop off the last part of my answer to meet your argument.
That wasn't what I was saying. I was
then make it right, nigga. Make it right.
I was simply saying that America is browning. And that trend will continue, in part because of immigration, in part because of the mixing of the races. America will.
Ninja, I knew what you were trying to put into the conversation right when you started that answer. You wanted to make sure the mixing of the races got in there, but it's not just that.
I didn't say that.
You tried to. You're trying to. You're trying to because you're trying to make your argument, which I understand. I'm gonna start you out, but here's the reality: it doesn't change acceptance, like Sean said earlier. Just because we are about to be the majority, that don't mean we're accepted as equals.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Just because we have a black and white mix, don't mean we're being accepted as equals. That's the point I'm making. You tried it, cuz. You tried it. I saw you try it.
I never said that.
You didn't have a chance because I wasn't going to get you that away with that bull.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you, Chuck. Go, Mom Frat. That's all I'm saying. It's harder than that. It's harder than that. And here's the thing. Going back to what Tara said, because she makes a great point. What is happening in the browning of America is the intensifying of racist policies. So people are doubling down.
I don't disagree with that. I agree with that.
He said you're missing the point. If we accept love, that means everyone, not everyone, but white people.
Exactly.
So you're saying we ain't gonna never get white people on board, but the rest of us are fine?
His statement was very clear.
No, it wasn't.
The more we embrace love as people, the less racism will.
Love conquers all.
Y'all so.
It does. Now, it's not immediate, Mr. Noiz. We're not going to get rid of anybody. We might not see it this week or this generation. The reality is, he's correct.
He's correct to you.
You just can't see it because you're in the middle of a thunderstorm. You can't see it.
No.
It's true.
No. That's not true at all. That's not true at all.
Okay,
because in order for us to get out of the thunderstorm, I have to be able to see what you're saying. But I'm saying to you, racism. Listen, I'm the biggest proponent in the scripture that simply says love never fails. It doesn't. I agree with that statement 1,000,000%. Huh?
So then why are you arguing with him?
Because you guys are talking about something different than love. Love and relational love, like what y'all talking about, mixing the races, that ain't the same thing.
You're saying
that is not the same thing.
Agape.
Thank you. That's a different type of love. Mr. North, I'm going to end it with this. Your own words. You always come on this show and say to us that until white people admit what they have done to us in this country, we cannot reconcile. So just because Tyrone married Becky, that is not going to fix all of the problems. Y'all still got, Becky family got to come to Tyrone and say, oh, and by the way, we so sorry for oppressing your people the way that we have.
So when you talk about love conquering all, since you did that, and the way you just did that was beautiful.
I said love never fails. That's what I said. Don't change my words. Don't change my words.
So since you believe that love never fails, in the Bible, and I didn't pay attention in Sunday school or Bible class.
Well,
I don't believe that at all.
I was there, but I didn't pay attention.
You were not there. You were doing
Did the Bible stipulate what type of love it was talking about? Context.
Yes.
It simply said love.
But there, no. Don't do that.
It says something about love thy neighbor.
First of all, it doesn't say love at all. The actual Aramaic word is charity. Now we getting it. You don't come to a Bible scholar with Bible questions. It is
Arabic words. Ninja, give me the English version. What is
the English version?
King James. What is
Ninja,
it?
Ninja. The English version is charity.
It doesn't say anything about love.
No, it doesn't use the word love. The only way it becomes love is because we keep breaking it down to make it palatable for Americans to understand. So we use the word love. But the actual word is not love at all. It's charity, sacrificial, something that has nothing to do with your personal gratification. In other words, it goes back to what you've been saying. When white people say, we have wronged you and we owe you, we can't get past it. When racism can be eradicated, when the people who have perpetuated the crime realize they've done it.
So you're saying the Bible is actually talking about us being charitable one to another.
Come on, boy, you preaching that now. Now you done took a text and you preaching.
Not loving one another.
No, that is what love is. That's what the Bible is saying. That true charity, true selfless behavior is the actual definition of love. That's why it never fails, because it's not about you. It's about you doing for someone else.
Which means it's about the agape and not the eros.
Come on.
So I can give charitably to a lot of causes, but that doesn't mean I have.
No, I'm not splitting hairs, Stephon. I'm trying to clarify. I'm trying to clarify for the people in the back who be looking down at their church fan. I'm saying to you, when I love my wife, or even if I use the hardcore definition of charity, when I say to my wife, My job for it to be in this marriage is to make sure you have everything you need, that I provide for you, that I sacrifice for you, that I give to you. Love is actually the thing that comes out of my charity. When I give to you, love should be the result of what I charity. It's two things. It's the demonstration of my activity and the reception of what I gave you. When you understand that transaction, now we can get into some healing. But until we understand that, we can't get anywhere.
You know, I appreciate that which you just said. We're gonna keep it to where we as Southern Baptists, Black Baptists, that's different.
Did you hear, boy?
Can understand what you're saying.
I kept in Mississippi.
I am to love my neighbor, whether that's an action word through what I do for them or not. I am to love my neighbor, right or wrong.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Not to charitable to my neighbor. I am to love my neighbor. Right? Now, my love for them is shown by the things that I do for them, the things I do towards them. It's an action word.
Okay.
So I agree with that. But the more love we have, the less racism we will have.
Nobody, okay. You're not saying anything different than I just said. I just said that. You just try to say it differently and slower to make it seem like your point is right. That's the same thing I just said, Ninja. That way, what we were talking about. Stefan said, if we go to a relational kind of love, where the black man and the white woman, or the white man and the black woman, or this, that, and the other, mixing of the races comes together, now all of a sudden, we end racism, the cancer of racism.
I sure hate his statement is so far back, but he never said that. He said,
that's exactly.
Open ourselves up to love. The more we open ourselves up to love, the less racism we have.
But we were talking in the moment that he made the statement, putting it in full context. We were talking about
opening ourselves up to love.
Because what you're not going to do is change the narrative. When the moment that we talked about it, we were talking about relational love. That's why he made the statement. Now, both of y'all can change it now if you want to, but in the moment you made it, we were talking about relational love. We were talking about mixed race. And you stuck to the relational guns. Go back and watch the show. You stuck to your relational guns the entire conversation.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
The more we open ourselves up to loving anybody and everybody, regardless of race, I agree. It is a slow process, but it is a game changer.
Tara said, by the way, I'm Southern Baptist.
I agree.
See, now Stefan is changing it too. I was talking about love, period. Both you ninjas are full of it. But I love you both. You're my brothers, and I love you both.
I agree, Tara. We are not Southern Baptist.
Yeah, because we like to feel our religion. We like to feel it.
National Baptist Convention USA Incorporated.
Oh my God. Listen, we gotta go. We gotta come back tonight and do this thing called the 5 and get into some heavy stuff on the 5. Then in the morning, we got a great guest, man. Great guest. Malachi Wyman is going to join us. And they just released they got a new reality show. JSU got a new reality show that y'all need to check out. It's on YouTube. Barstool. If you go to Barstool, you can see it. I'm about to watch it in a little bit. But a lot of great stuff happening. Then a great discussion tomorrow. We're going to double down. How do I save my life? You don't want to miss that. Thank you to all the new people that have come. If y'all don't mind, Facebook gave you 200 stars. If you think we've done a good job today, why don't y'all shoot them stars over to us and let us be a blessing to the peoples. We sure would appreciate that. Cuz, you got something you were saying?
I just want to say one thing, all joking aside. You know,
man, come on.
And I love to argue with Mr. Noiz because more often than not, he's wrong and I'm right. But listen.
None of that's true what he just said.
Listen. Truthfully. as a participant in the podcast, I thoroughly appreciate the listening and your interactions with us. It is vital. You guys might not be on this podcast, but you are. Seriously, your input is huge. So thank you for your contributions each and every day.
Absolutely. What makes our show is the noisemakers. It's that kind of simple. We do the best we can, but the noisemakers is what brings it all together. Yes.
And the faces and sighs that come from Mama Noise. That makes the show too.
Well, listen, Mama Noise is a sexy beast. Let me just tell you, that is a sexy ass woman. I'm not gonna hold you. I am here for it, and my God, and I try to show her.
Okay, man, go on.
And
I try to give her the.
No, thank you.
And Mama Noise, after this show, I'm gonna show you just how much I appreciate. My God, I appreciate it.
Don't know when to stop.
Okay, all right. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. We out this piece.
We talk.